Whoa, it's the CU Podcast. Whoa, it's the CU Podcast. Yeah! CU Podcast time.
Hey everyone, this is the CU Podcast. It's completely unnecessary, as is Ian some of the time and me most of the time. And this is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
May 22nd, 222 Tuesday. Wow. Too bad it's not February 22nd.
222 Tuesday.
2022. We're going to be around 2022. I might be around. I don't know.
Hoping.
I'm Pat Contry alongside Ian Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
Ian's feeling a little bit better, I think, than I am right now. I'm feeling like subdued and drugged at this point in time.
I mean, I feel off this morning. But let's
You
see.
feel off?
Yeah, I feel off.
You feel awful or just off? I just
Off.
feel off.
Off.
I did yoga yesterday, and usually after yoga I feel like better, but I just felt like afterwards. I got a good night's sleep too. Usually my routine now is I start on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I used to only sleep on my couch because my mattress was the old one from Jersey I brought here until I got a new mattress last summer, which is an awesome mattress, but now I'm so lazy to walk upstairs. I hate stairs. And so, but now I'm starting to like sleep.
So does Donald Trump.
What are you trying to say?
Just saying.
Just don't start with our left-wing ideologies this soon, Ian.
Oh, we'll get into that a bit later.
But so now I'm sleeping for like 5 hours. I usually fall asleep between 11 and 12. So I'll sleep for 5 hours. At like 4 in the morning, I'll walk upstairs half asleep and fall into the bed and sleep for like 4 hours. It's probably not good. I probably should sleep in the bed for 8 hours. It's so much more comfortable. You're already getting tired of the story, or you're just
No,
tired
I'm
in
just
general?
tired.
You're just tired.
I don't get good night's sleeps.
No, never?
No.
Well, when I see you tweet at 3 in the morning, it's probably why.
That's usually after I've tried to fall asleep for like 45 minutes.
You don't just try to read?
No, that's all I've been doing lately.
Why don't you
is reading.
watch some old Pat the NES Punk videos to fall
No,
asleep?
that's gonna keep me wide awake.
Does it keep you wide awake?
Yeah.
Did you say you liked my delivery of the game reviews a few years back?
Yeah, I just
It's very sensuous. No, you didn't use those words.
I need you to do something more boring.
More boring than the Stadium Events video. Did you see the Stadium Events video?
I did. I watched that.
Was it entertaining?
Yeah.
Speaking of edutainment, let's celebrate 10 years of our pal Norm, the gaming historian.
That's right. Good
Let's
old
do
Norm.
that. You know Norm, McFrosticles on YouTube. That was his original name. when he put up his first video, like they put the picture of 10 years ago, it looked like he was fucking 11 years old.
He's
10 years ago. He's so young.
He's an eternally youthful guy.
He's just younger than us.
Well, he is young, but he looks very youthful.
But
as well.
even when he started, he was like 19 doing these videos. He looked like he was 12 years old doing them. So and his first video was the top loader, which is still hot garbage, but we disagree on that. Remember, we went back and forth on Retro back in the day about that.
I do not like the top loader at all.
No one should. Go get the AV Famicom is something else. That's at least decent. But anyway, so here's to Norm. He's heard me sing in the shower lots of times, so that means we're close.
Norm has been there for me at many conventions.
To do what?
Just to be there for me.
Just to
let me hug him and paw at him.
To paw at him.
To be an object and also a friend.
Okay, I don't know the objective part. We're going to be at Luna Video Games in Chula Vista Saturday, May 26th, coming up between 1 and 4 p.m.
Yes.
Oh, unless Ian has to go to the bathroom and leave. Is there a bathroom for me there? I have to go walk to the taco place around the corner.
No, there's a bathroom.
Okay, I was making sure. I don't know how this works. It's part of the deal. So we'll have a certain NES guidebook. We'll be hanging out there. I don't think there'll be a console set up.
I don't know. There might be, but we'll be chopping it up. Come see us.
We're not going to be chopping up a console.
Chopping it up, slang, hip for the kids.
Is that ever a term for speaking?
Yeah.
Was it really chopping it up? Is that like
Chopping it up.
Buffalo
Yeah.
colloquialism?
Yeah. Chopping it up, talking.
We'll be speaking with you all, and if you want us to sign anything, take a picture, just chat about Wisdom Tree games or Ian's love for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. My love for hoarding games, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it up.
I'll get some CeeLo games going off on the side.
CeeLo?
Yeah.
At first I was like, the singer. Oh no, CeeLo. I played that.
Yeah.
The one with the big giant dice.
Well, I mean, you use 3 dice in a bowl or a ring.
Yeah, but it's usually in a pop-matic bubble at a casino.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
You could, although then it would
I'm
prevent
thinking
it
of
from...
I used to play in Atlantic City.
Okay.
It's just a fun game. The odds are awful.
Well,
But
the odds
it's
are miserable.
Yeah, they're popping a pop-matic bubble. That's how it would work.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
you bet on upper, high, or low, and things like that. Anyway, we're going off the rails here. More importantly, the most important update in my life is that Pinball Arcade unblocked me on Twitter. So thank you, Pinball Arcade. I don't know what happened. I think your CEO must have got involved there. This is an outrage. But I'm unblocked. They watched our video. They retweeted our coverage. So sometimes there's justice in the world.
Pat lives and dies by who blocks and unblocks.
No, I don't, Ian. I've only cared about 2 people ever blocked me on Twitter, and Pinball Arcade was one of them. So that's what's been going on. You actually saw this is Ian must be like the glory days. When we're 20 years back, we're going to look at 2018 as the year where Ian actually complied with seeing big movies the same time as Pat to actually talk about them on the podcast. It happened with Thanos. And Infinity War happened with Thanos was the name of the movie. It was Infinity War.
I was planning on going to see that.
But it happened with Black Panther, and now a third movie, Deadpool 2. We can actually talk about it before it's been out a month on the podcast. This is a momentous occasion.
Some movies I just don't care to see on opening night.
It's kind of my job too. But
No one likes our reviews.
what do you mean no one likes our reviews? What they do? You're just too lazy to go 5 minutes away to see a movie. I mean, that's no one likes. Okay, so you saw Deadpool 2. I saw Deadpool 2 Thursday night. I'm liking this Thursday night release thing. I like it. There's no fucking high schoolers there usually. You don't your Friday night's clear. And there's usually nothing to do on Thursday night anyway, besides Taco Thursday at some places. So
Yeah, the Thursday night releases are fairly decent. We went yesterday morning. That was good.
matinees are fun. You get brunch.
Yeah, we did.
Brunch and maybe a little hollandaise sauce dripping on you while you're watching Deadpool 2. I don't know.
Bonnie had pancakes.
Eggs Benedict's good there at the lot. But what did you think of Deadpool 2? And you just saw Deadpool 1 right before Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I saw
2.
Deadpool 1 for the first time. I saw it Sunday night.
I guess Vonnie did as well.
Yes. And we both really liked it. I thought the story was great. Thought the character was done better than I would have expected. Deadpool's a fun comic book character. Previously had some good stories. Funny, has been, has slowly turned into more of a comedic character. And the people who generally tend to latch on to Deadpool and cosplay him tend to focus more on the acting out parts, the fourth wall breaking stuff, the goofy stuff.
Sure.
And it gets a little tiresome.
Too much.
Gets a little tiresome. Ryan Reynolds' portrayal of the character does a really good job of getting what's great about that, but he never truly goes off the rails with it. He really finds a great balance of the comedy
And the more realistic, heartfelt stuff.
Yeah, the comedy and then the more realistic, human nature style stuff with him.
Is there romance in the Deadpool comic at all? Like they have in these movies?
I've mostly read the team ups and the one shots, so
Because that's what threw me off of the first movie, and I enjoyed the first movie, but I was kind of thrown off by how much of the movie is the romantic subplot.
I'm sure there probably is, but like I said, I've mostly read the one shots and some of the other earlier stuff, and no, I don't recall that, but I would have to say that there has to be somewhere in there.
I mean, the first movie, I always say that you can tell there's no budget. There's only 2 set pieces in the movie, and the middle's just fucking giant flashback and romance and sexcapades in the bedroom, scenes like that where it's like they're really using some filler here, and it's really easy to see. I thought that there wasn't much to the movie, which they kind of admit. It's like, yeah, now we can do more in the sequel, and the sequel is like 4 or 5 times as big, with a lot more characters, better action sequences, better effects, more characters. It's not just before it was a joke about we don't have the budget for these characters, which they didn't. They had Colossus show up for like 5-10 minutes, and they had Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who comes back. But now you have other sets of characters as well, and you have spoilers. We're going to get into spoil territory. You have a big X-Men villain show up, which they really did a good job of having it be a real surprise, because there wasn't any trailers, no commercials talking about Juggernaut being in the movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait a minute. Once you heard that boom, boom, I was like, okay, it's either the Blob or Juggernaut, I thought. And then I thought the Blob was in that awful X-Men Origin, so maybe it's not that. So once you saw it's a Juggernaut, I'm like, holy shit, this is the Juggernaut. This is not just the fucking awful one from X-Men 3.
Yeah, no, it was. I got an inkling pretty quick that it was going to be the Juggernaut, and it paid off. I mean, it was great to see the Juggernaut. I don't necessarily believe that a bigger movie made it a better movie. I thought both movies were very, very good. It was good to see it fleshed out more. It was good to see.
It was better villains the second time around. The villain in the first one was so forgettable. Just generic, bland British fucking villain.
Yeah.
What was his power? He can also regenerate, or was that his power, or he had fast reflexes? That was his power.
Oh, he's a villain.
Yeah, it was sort of like okay.
But I very much enjoyed it. There was a lot of fun nods, a lot of cool jokes. The appearance of Shatterstar made me laugh so bad. I thought it was great that Shatterstar was in there.
To see any sort of other X-Force characters.
Well, it was just fun to see that. Like I said, the Shatterstar bit was my absolute favorite. They got his hair perfect. I mean, even his crazy jumping poses were like fucking right out of the comic book. Yeah, and then just the Domino, I felt was played very well.
Zazie Beetz did an awesome job as Domino. Like, she was great. That's what I mean. Like, when I thought about this, this seemed more like I like this movie better because Deadpool got to bounce off so many different characters. In the first movie, he really didn't bounce off anyone besides Colossus a little bit and Negasonic, and that was really it. And this, he's bouncing off of like several characters. And then Cable, his interactions with Cable were great because he was like the exact opposite character.
Josh Brolin, I mean, between Avengers and Deadpool, as now it's going to be hard for me to see him in anything that's not superhero related.
So you're going back and see No Country for Old Men, which is an awesome movie, which you comic book nerds out there should go see other Josh Brolin movies, or he played W in a movie.
Yep.
Going back to obviously the Goonies is where everyone first knew him from.
But it's I mean, just I've seen, because I went and saw Infinity War a second time this past weekend as well.
You went without me.
Yeah. My buddy Alan hadn't seen it, and now they're at Lincoln, so they asked if I wanted to go.
I almost didn't see it. I kind of saw it the first time, being that it was 2 feet in front of me, the screen.
So it hit me because
was that better the second time?
Yeah, it was better the second time.
Really? Mm-hmm. You got into it a little bit more?
Yeah, some of the minor issues I had with it the first time through were not
like too much. What was your minor issues? Too much comedy, things like that?
No, just everything. It wasn't so much issues. It was that everything. Having seen it once before and seeing it a second time, everything gelled a bit more. There's so much going on that getting to see it a second time, you really just get to take everything in a little bit better.
Sure. So I will say this: I really enjoyed Deadpool. It's a good not palate cleanser after Infinity War, but you come out happy. There's the great mid credits sequence is fucking hysterical. Like, that was to me the highlight of the movie.
It was very funny.
Deadpool corrects the past I guess Deadpool issues from X-Men Wolverine Origins, and then also Ryan Reynolds he gets to see it.
Yeah,
but then I thought there'd be a post credit scene, and there wasn't. So everyone's like, okay, there has to be something else, and there wasn't. So they already said they're going to do another movie with Deadpool. They don't know if it's going to be X-Force or just another Deadpool, but
they've got the cast at this point to slap together an X-Force.
But spoilers, they killed off all the X-Force characters that were there except for Domino and I guess Peter.
Yeah, Peter gets to live.
But I guess they can always go back and say, oh, we brought them all back, with the time. They could do that.
They're not going to.
You don't think so?
No one gives a shit about Shatterstar.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Well,
his joke is there. He's there for he was there for a one-off.
The guy who spits, so I hardly know who that even is.
Bedlam, and Bedlam was Terry Crews, and I can't remember.
So they shot these sequences for the trailers to make it look like, oh, these guys are kicking everyone's ass. X-Force doesn't kick any ass. They get interviewed, which was a great sequence during the interviews. With the Vanisher as well. Forget about the Vanisher.
The best part about the Vanisher is
you get literally half a second to see who it is. Like half a second. It's not even a full second.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's Brad Pitt. Spoilers.
I feel like he literally just had to send them like a still image of his face.
He probably could have. They probably got him in front of a green screen and just went that though. It was probably an hour of work.
Yep.
I think the interview said he worked for like a cup of coffee. But that's just brilliant getting Brad Pitt in there. I was kind of surprised there was no Hugh Jackman cameo anywhere. maybe that would have been too on the nose. With there's always like three Hugh Jackman references, or
He was in the mid credits role.
well, I mean that was just footage though.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
getting him actually back. But they always reference Hugh Jackman, and I mean the beginning of it is referencing how they killed him off. And it's like, oh, I got to top Logan now, and Deadpool kills himself because he's mad about his girlfriend getting killed, which is the smartest thing they could have done from the movies, because that would have dragged the whole movie down, having her in it the whole time, which it almost did anyway to me. Always constantly going back and having children make us, a chance to be better people. And it's like saying that unironically in a Deadpool movie to me, I guess is okay, but to me that sort of felt out of place to constantly go back to that sort of theme.
I feel like you need it.
You need to have some grounding in real emotions.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's a family film is kind of cute, and Colossus is good in it. And Negasonic is cute with the girlfriend.
Well, that's my only negative is I liked Negasonic Teenage Warhead a lot. Their portrayal of her in the first Deadpool, and they brought in Yukiko in a totally wildly different form.
So I'm familiar with the character at all.
She's not a mutant and she's not a teenager.
Okay.
I mean, she uses a ninja stars as her unless I'm missing something, the electric powers are brand new to this movie. And then Negasonic Teenage Warhead was just a telepath to begin with in the comics. I think that was, I don't remember the first time I saw I think I saw her the first time in Astonishing X-Men, the comics. So I think she's from early 2000. I couldn't verify that with Vonnie. But yeah, she didn't have like any of that fire stuff or anything.
Really?
So I'm at the point where,
I don't care if they're minor characters if they change them.
Well, at this point, I don't care how they handle some of this stuff. After seeing how well the MCU turns out, I don't care when they make these changes because they're writing their own stories. They're staying pretty truthful to a lot of things. So when they bring in these characters and they try to keep them at least with the same attitude, but they have to change things, it's fine. They make multiple universes in comics.
Sure.
They change stuff all the time within comics now. It's cool. So the Negasonic version is whatever. Yukio's been around, and that's fine. I would have just liked to have seen them give Negasonic and Yukio more time. It seemed like they were gearing up for that by bringing in another character that was gonna, partner up with her, be her girlfriend, and then she really has both of them have little screen time in that movie.
Well, sure. I mean, they don't have much screen time in the first one either.
Well, that's what I mean. It seemed like they were going to give them more.
I think that being that he was interacting with so many more characters, like the X-Force and Cable.
True.
Like, I think that was... They managed to squeeze it in. Like,
sure.
Just the fact that there is a really good Juggernaut versus Colossus fight, like a proper Juggernaut Colossus fight in a Deadpool 2 movie, shocked me. And it was actually well done, to me. It was as good as it could have done with the CG. We disagree on how well the CG was done. I thought the CG was pretty damn good for that. Compared to the CG in the first movie.
No, it's good. I still think it looks dumb.
Old Juggernaut's a gigantic Hulk sort of looking guy, but he had the right attitude, he had the accent and everything, it was interesting. And in the rest there was a cute little X-Men cameo, which I thought was funny. The little X-Men cameo in the mansion was funny as hell.
Oh, yeah. When they're closing the door.
Yeah, they're actually there. They're like, yeah. Anyway, so that's our review of Deadpool 2. Not 8 weeks too late, like usually when we talk about this stuff. But we got a lot of interesting news coming out. We knew this was happening, the NES Classic returning, since Nintendo announced it last year. Once they realized that, hey, the Super Nintendo Classic's going to be big, the NES Classic, we didn't make enough of them, that the NES Classic is coming back. We got the official announcement that is coming back on June 29th to stores, and the Super Nintendo Classic is going to be expected to be available through the end of the year, according to Nintendo. So the only thing to say about this is that Nintendo, we keep saying this, Nintendo quickly, for the most part, in early I guess 2017, realized we kind of screwed this up.
Yep.
We have to reverse course, and now it's too late with the NES Classic. We have to do the Super Nintendo Classic, which came out summer of last year already.
That was like September of last year.
So they probably for some reason couldn't do both at the same time again. I don't know why. Maybe they don't have the production set up for both at the same time. they're probably fairly similar products in terms of the insides, the guts. But anyway, either way, the fact that they're bringing back the NES Classic can only be seen as good news because people that were heartbroken can now get it. They don't have to be scalped as much anymore, even though prices have gone down because the interest has gone down. I just don't know if it's too little too late to bring this back, a year and a half later, because maybe the interest is gone unless they ramp up another, schedule of online advertising. There was no TV advertisement for this or the Super Nintendo Classic, which I thought was weird. But maybe now
apparently it wasn't necessary.
It wasn't, but now that it's going to be widely available, you would assume, because you can find the Super Nintendo Classic fairly easily now. If you walk into a store, I get tweets almost every week. Oh yeah, here's Super Nintendo Classic at my Target or my Walmart. So because they made a lot more. They made millions and several million of the Super Nintendo Classic. They only made 2 million NES Classic worldwide, which is way too low. So I'm happy that they're bringing this back. Obviously, you want people to be able to get it. It's what the question is going to be is I think it will materially be the same. I even doubt they would have locked it down so you can't get in there and put on your own ROMs. I don't think Nintendo even cares about that, to be honest.
No.
I think it's going to be the same exact thing, same exact packaging. We know it's the same 30 games, same everything. I just don't know, we don't know the exact amount. Obviously, I know that the pre-order sold out again right away, from what I heard, I think at least on Amazon. And then we don't know if they're doing extra controllers again, which you assume they would do extra controllers again. At least in a quantity you can fucking find them in the U.S. and not have to buy them from Europe.
Well, those were those were highly scalped as well. So I would imagine that they would do additional controllers.
Yeah, so
I would hope.
I better sell my extra U.S. controller now and get like over $100 for it.
No, I think it's a great idea. I think
NES
at the store, I still get a number of people looking for them. And I tell people about it getting re-released next month.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo Classic is widely available still.
And, they get excited. As soon as it gets closer or it starts coming out, if they can actually get it onto shelves in the amount that they say they will, and I think they can, it's going to be one of those things where people will just pick it up and buy it.
They'll have to see it, though. They'll be like, oh, wow, it's available again, like they're walking into Target or Walmart.
But exactly. However, I think Nintendo can do that, and I think it's going to sell just fine. I'm really not concerned about this being able to move.
Yeah, Super Nintendo Classic, even on eBay, is only going for like $75 on eBay, so that's barely above retail.
Yeah.
So that's... Yeah,
but I thought retail was $79.99.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, so that's below. Here's one for $90. Here's one for, let's see, Super Nintendo Classic. NES Classic looks like it's about $100 to $125. So it's definitely come back down to earth.
Yeah,
because people are like, probably fuck it. I can't
wait.
find it. I'll just either wait or I'm done with it. But yeah, it looks like the Super Nintendo Classic, I guess, okay, $95, but that's not that much above retail. So that means there's a lot more of them around,
right,
that are available.
So to go along with the re-release of the NES Classic, it looks like Japan is getting a golden Famicom Mini that is branded with Weekly Shonen Jump. Weekly Shonen Jump is a manga magazine that comes out in Japan and has been around for 50 years now, and it's highly influential and extremely popular. It's the magazine that Dragon Ball Z were published in, stuff like Saint Seiya, and forgive me if I'm wrong here because I don't know all of my anime and manga well, but
How dare you,
I would imagine, I believe stuff like Naruto got its start in there, and probably Bleach. All of those are, the typical style, Shonen Jump manga.
So this is an interesting development that it's kind of surprising that Nintendo would have done this sort of like offshoot license for something like this to me.
Nintendo is massive and Shonen Jump is massive. These are two, huge things. The company that, it's not the company that did, but the one of the biggest companies that broke Dragon Ball and has all of this stuff in Nintendo. You're talking about two culturally extremely significant things.
So Nintendo sees this partnership as, okay, we can sell a lot of these. They can sell a lot of them to their fans too.
Right.
At the same time.
This would be
because the games on here aren't going to set the world on fire, but it could be cool things.
It's absolutely, game-wise, it's absolutely nothing important, but you have to remember, this would be Imagine if Nintendo was a company based in the U.S. This would be like Nintendo and Disney doing something.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what this
Which now
is.
I'm wondering why they never did something with Disney.
Right.
It's like, well, I see what you're saying.
So it's not the quality of the games that matters. It's the fact that it's the characters. It's the series in the game.
But you see what I mean? This isn't just them putting out their limited edition Tommy Hilfiger fucking Game Boy. This is them putting out a package.
Yeah.
Branded and then all these games that aren't first party games that they're throwing out.
Absolutely
that's why to me it's strange for them to do that.
This is a list of general bullshit.
I don't know half of these. We can go through these.
So tag team match muscle
is miserable.
I've
actually, you know what? Actually playing it for the book, it's not as miserable as once you get into it. It's still not a good game, but it's goofy as fuck. Dragon Quest you get on here though.
Dragon Quest Fist of the North Star,
which actually is okay.
It's decent. Dragon Ball Shenron no Nazo, I think, is Dragon Power.
Yes, which actually isn't a bad game.
Kinnikuman is that's the one I was gonna say was Muscle, but I guess not. Is the US Muscle tag team or is it 1-on-1?
It's tag team.
It is. Okay, so then that would be tag team. Saint Seiya, that game I don't believe came out over here. Captain Tsubasa, that's awesome. That's Tecmo Cup Soccer.
Okay, so maybe this is better than we thought so far then. This
It's
isn't
Tecmo Cup Soccer game. Tecmo Cup Soccer Part 2 is further down. And then we start getting into stuff that I don't quite remember.
So the games aren't as bad. You got Dragon Ball 3. Sorry, phone call. Famicom Jump 2. What is that one?
I believe those are like the games that mix like all the
characters together,
the jump characters together.
Okay, so maybe the game list isn't as bad.
It's not good.
Okay,
but it's
Well, you like Captain Tsubasa?
Oh, I do. Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess that's would be interesting anime to read or manga to read.
But I think I want to say, and I can't remember the names. I believe a couple of those other Bandai. Those Bandai released games might be on here too.
So it's the same as the Famicom Mini. It has the wired in controllers, right? It's just golden, and it has a separate set of
gold
games.
For the 50th anniversary of Shonen Jump.
I should have bought since the game list was different. I probably should have bought the Famicom Classic.
I thought you had one.
No, I don't. I mean, it's you can get it easily. I think. All right. Well, it's interesting.
But yeah, I had no interest in a Famicom Mini, and I have no interest in an NES Mini. But this, because of its weird specificity, I would almost be interested in this.
You know, you can't play Dragon Quest and some of the other games you can't play.
Yeah.
I wonder how many games you can actually play out of here. Probably more than half without knowing Japanese.
I just think it's cool because of the Shonen.
Desi even Emperor's on there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I know that was originally a manga property or whatever. All right. So okay, well go grab your gold Famicom and I'll buy another NES Classic just to have one. No, I got two of them. I think.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. You hoarder.
So, Steam's been cracking down on
Steam
lately. Has been cracking down on games with nudity, quote unquote sexy games lately.
Sexy games.
In a continually confusing their rules for the ability, regarding games with nudity, games incorporating sex. So it was brought to our attention a few days ago that a few companies have been told that they need to patch or censor or remove certain scenes from their games or have them removed from the store by Steam by the end of the month. A couple of these games are fairly well known or fairly popular.
Mainly visual novels and dating sims. Looks like. Honeypot, makers of dating
Honeypot.
Honeypot
is a puzzle game with visual dating sim elements in it, and I've played that one, and I can talk about that a little bit more. The other ones that have been mentioned are more visual novel based. The one that I wanted to bring up, let me just find the name on that one real quick. It is right here.
So what Honeypot tweeted that they received an email from Valve saying the game violates the rules and guidelines for pornographic content on Steam, and will be removed from the store unless the game is updated to remove said content. So they stated that it had pornographic content. Does that game have pornographic content?
Mildly. We'll get there.
Okay.
So, Honey Pop is a puzzle game it's a fun puzzle game too. Has pornographic content, drawn pornographic content. Basically, you date women, you have to buy them some gifts, go on a couple of dates. The dates play out as puzzle games, action puzzle games.
That's like dating. It's a puzzle.
It's fun. And then at the end, you get a couple of, as you go on, you get a couple of more risque pictures of them in like lingerie, or they have, their bra off or whatever. And then at the end, there's like a couple pictures that are a sex scene. It's pretty standard vanilla stuff. And if I recall correctly, it's censored when it doesn't show anything from the waist down when you buy it on Steam. It just shows.
So it's not pornographic.
It just shows toplessness.
It's just nudity.
Yeah, it's
nudity
just nudity.
is not pornography.
Right. Well, you can uncensor it with a patch.
Okay.
But that's always been known. And the patch has to be got off Steam.
You buy it separately?
No, you don't buy it. They give it away for free, and it has to be. You find it outside of Steam.
Oh, okay. And you go back in and patch it. Okay.
And you go back in and you patch it. And even then, it's pretty mild stuff.
It's like the coffee thing.
It's pretty mild. And it's just still images.
Okay.
So another one, Kindred Spirits, which I've only heard about, is a more of a visual novel one. And that one has nudity.
Okay.
But it requires quite a bit of work to get there.
Okay.
And it's more of a visual novel from what I've read about friendship, that sort of thing.
Friendship with boobies.
I believe it's, girls at a school, they get along, they talk. Once again, it's a fairly mild one. So,
This pirate adventure mutiny. According to them, Steam will be pulling their game in 2 weeks for reports of pornographic content. They claim that they had been one of the strictest developers in terms of following Steam's guidelines.
Yep.
And absolutely nothing in Mutiny, which is a sexy pirate adventure, nothing violates the guidelines. They also say that their publishers, Manga Gamer, met with Valve before the game's release and were told their content was fine on Steam.
So this is another instance where that one has nudity, nothing else is shown. You can patch it off-site if you want to after you buy it.
Okay.
But they worked hand in hand with Steam to make sure that everything was kosher. So did whoever created Honey Pop, I can't remember the name. And that game got a lot of press around the time it got released because it's actually a fucking fun game. I mean, that's why fucking fun. Anyways, that's why I had it. And then this Kindred Spirits one I've only heard about. So you look at these, and these are getting crap. And like I said, it's nudity or suggestive. And when you unpatch it, some of them definitely show more. These need to be taken down, yet you have games like The Witcher on there.
There's a major AAA release.
Definitely, far more suggestive sex scenes, animated, and I believe toplessness. But, once again, it doesn't show anything below the waist. And these don't have issues, but these sorts of games do. And what it comes down to is people are beginning to think that if it's anime or anime in style, that's what's kind of getting these flagged. There seems to be some sort of bias going on between either developers that don't have money to do something about this and developers that do, like AAA games, or it's in the style. Anime or hand-drawn versus, Western style and 3D models. But there definitely seems to be a double standard of some sort going on here.
So this goes back to, let's see, the U.S.-based anti-porn advocacy group, this is from PCGamesN.com, has claimed credit for Valve's move to censor visual novels. The National Center on Sexual Exploitation, formerly known as Morality in Media, posted a press release Friday saying Valve's move came after a 2-year campaign by the center to pressure Valve into removing sexually exploitative content from Steam. Exploitative. They had placed Valve on their 2018 Dirty Dozen list and orchestrated an intensive social media campaign that began May 10th and encouraged users to tweet directly at Valve and Steam. Do you think that had anything to do with this? Because Valve can be like, fuck off. I mean, like, because they're not buying the games. This morality and media group was that like the ones that went after WWE like 20 years ago. Probably something similar. The parent teacher fucking group.
I don't know, but if they do,
Hungry.
it's upsetting because then I think it really is they're just going for image, which I think you hear about pornographic games on the internet these days, and immediately people think dating sims. They think the anime art style. They go, okay, well, we'll cut down these ones that are well known or that are easily findable, and then they're not going to think about the fact that that there's sex in all sorts of modern AAA games.
Well, it says, according to this, on a separate page, distinct from their Steam campaign, the NCOSE, National Center on Sexual Exploitation, lists big budget titles like Witcher 3 and Mass Effect Andromeda as also being sexually exploitative. Okay, people. We stop policing fucking media. We fucking stop it.
Yeah.
And not just that, Valve, I'm disappointed if you kowtow to these people that won't affect fucking sales at all. Let them just yell into a void. Like this happens when there's always backlash against someone who says something or did whatever. It's people that are yelling about that have no intention of ever buying or doing business with you. Let them just yell into the void and it'll go away.
Yeah. You're not losing customers. These are people who weren't going to shop with you anyway.
Now you're losing sales from these games, which I guess if you're Steam, you don't care. You sales no matter what. But I don't get it. If the game's describing what's in if the description says this is for adults only or mature and this is what's in the game, then there shouldn't be an issue with it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Let's hear something else going on here. If you have rules, enforce them across the board and let developers know what's up, because there's some of these developers, they can get crippled by this.
Yeah.
They'll be crippled because either their sales will be gone, or maybe what if they have a game in development ready to go out in a couple months? All of a sudden, okay, we can't put boobies in anymore. You can pass judgment on whether or not you think you want to play a game with boobies. There's a market for it either way. There's a market for it, and if it was allowed before, why isn't it allowed now for some games having boobs and some? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's the thing. It's all or nothing.
Either way, breast is not pornography. Pornography is sexual acts.
Yeah, toplessness is toplessness.
Yeah, so either way, that's weird. I'm having my RX bar right now. So, yeah, it's just a weird situation. I mean, I was at PAX East and I was looking at some games that were like, yo, they're sexually suggestive or whatever. I'm like, oh, they're going to get in trouble now just because of that? Necco Works, makers of tropical liquor, say we've been informed that adult content in tropical liquor must be censored by the end of the month or the game will be removed from Steam. To which Honeypot replied, it's an anime titty holocaust. There you have it. Well, hopefully Valve does the right thing. This one article on PC Gamer said they kind of walked it back a little bit on the visual magazine games or visual whatever.
Visual
novels, whatever. Well, who knows? I just think it's weird that all of a sudden this becomes a thing. And these games have been on there for years.
Well, it becomes a thing every few years, and then usually nothing really happens, but who knows?
So, all right. Well, best of luck to Honeypot and Lupisoft and everyone else getting into trouble there. Ian, this is almost breaking news about Best Buy ending their Gamers Club program to get, what was it, 20% off of games. Somewhat
Pre-orders.
Yes, almost somewhat similar to Amazon Prime having that for new games, but for Amazon Prime, I think you had up to like the game being out for like a couple of weeks to get 20% off, something like that. I believe it was. The last time I bought it, a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So they're shutting down. Best Buy is shutting down their Gamers Club program. If it was first in a leaked memo, but then they announced, we're just going to shut it down. Current customers can still receive their Gamers Club Unlocked benefits until their subscription expires, but no new customers will be able to subscribe. So this is going to wind down. Sounds like this year or two. Discounts on nearly all games sold at Best Buy. A 2-year GCU membership used to cost $30, but it offered 20% off all new games and pre-orders. Members also saved 10% off used games and received an extra 10% in trading credit. I have no idea how well the Best Buy trade-in program went. I haven't stepped into a Best Buy in probably 6 years.
I have no idea. I go into a Best Buy once in a blue moon, and I'll quickly spin down the video game aisle. It's usually to get. We almost never go there with any purpose in mind. It's just we're next to one, so I need a power cable or something like that. But the video game section in the ones near here, especially the one out by that Mission Valley Mall, the video game section is always barren, and I don't recall ever seeing any used video games. So I've always wondered where they store the used games. Maybe it just never really took off in San Diego.
So I'm guessing if you have the membership, it's still going to be good until it runs out.
Yes, it is.
But for the most part, then, unless you enrolled before the last day, in 2 years from now, there's no one going to be left. Probably the majority won't be there a year from now.
Yeah, they didn't do any warning on it. It was just, we're not doing it anymore, so no one could rush out and do it again, which to me says they were eating a ton of money on it. And of course they were, because there's really almost no markup whatsoever on new video games.
So Pat, man, if 20% off of a $60 game is $48, $12 off. So at $48, are they even breaking even, Best Buy, on wholesale of these games?
Do you want to wait until you finish your bar before we keep going?
No, I don't. I'm starving.
Well, that's why I said, do you want to wait until you finish your bar? You're chewing into my ear. I would imagine that even a store gets a huge discount on a game that they get for brand new. They're maybe making, let's see, there's the cheapest we would ever. Yeah, I mean, $48 would be about break
even.
Absolute break even if you're getting a good deal on that game. Maybe they're making like $3 on that game. Because 48 was, if we were lucky, we would get a game in for 48. Most of the time it'd be like 55, and then you factor in shipping and all that stuff. So that couldn't have been, anything good for them.
So they probably just figured, well, these people are not really buying anything else here, so it's not even a loss leader anymore. We're just losing money doing this. They're not coming in and buying a controller. They're not gonna buy, I don't know, Best Buy points even. They probably figured this will get people into the door to buy other stuff, but no, people are probably signing up for this program and just buying video games.
Yeah, and from what I understand, you could use it online, which is an even worse thing. Loss leaders don't work if you don't walk into a store.
Yes.
You have to walk into a store for that sort of thing to work. Loss leaders, you walk in, you buy something that's cheaper, that's usually more expensive for the store, and then you walk around and you grab a bunch of other things that they actually make money on. There's nothing to walk around and look at in an online store. If you're even remotely disciplined, you go on, you buy your cheap video game, and you log back off, and that's it.
Just so people know what a loss leader is, because it's weird. I know the term from working in a grocery store.
Yeah, same. Well, not a grocery store, from restaurants and shit like that.
What a loss leader is, it means it's the first thing that entices you to get into the store to buy, and the store's usually taking a loss on it. But then while you're in the store, you're going to buy something else that turns a profit. So, for example, it's like having, I don't know, meat on sale in a supermarket, but you're still going to buy eggs and cheese and milk, and that's where the profit comes in.
Yeah.
So that's a loss leader, something that leads the rest of the buying, I guess. Yeah.
It's the Pied Piper that gets you into the supermarket.
It's a discount Pied Piper.
Yes.
And then you're taking for a ride buying eggs or Velveeta cheese.
You get what we're saying.
Yeah. Without Wikipediaing it, that's what a loss leader is.
So what's concerning about this is, this does not surprise me. But I think this is this could indicate that perhaps we might see this stop with Amazon.
Oh, that'd be bad for me.
It'd be bad for me too. Although I don't really, honestly, I don't take advantage of it.
And Prime just raised their $20 up to $99 to $120 a year, which is still a great deal. They can raise it $200, probably still be a good deal.
Yeah, it's still a good deal. So Amazon started that, and then Best Buy did it to compete, and Best Buy can't handle it, so they dropped. I'm wondering if that's enough to show Amazon that, okay, we did it. We had someone try to compete with it. They couldn't hang. Do we really need to do this anymore?
Sure. We've already bled them dry, in essence, from this, because Amazon can take the hit more than Best Buy can.
Right.
So they're like, okay, maybe we'll get rid of it. And you're right. They can probably get rid of it whenever they want. And
yeah.
What are you going to do? There's nowhere else to go to get the discount anymore.
So
that's a hefty 20% off is hefty off of something that's brand new. That's a hefty discount.
Yeah, it is.
20%. Like 10% is even like, you don't see 10% off new stuff a lot of times. 20% is a chunk.
Yeah.
The memo The internal memo that leaked said, for a variety of reasons, we decided that our Gamers Club programs will not be accepting new members.
For one reason.
Variety.
Money.
Current members will continue to receive their benefits, because that's probably legal. You have to do that. We encourage everyone else to use our My Best Buy membership to receive perks, and blah, blah. But, let's see. But they said you got to remove all signage, everything's got to be removed from the sales floor and front lanes immediately. Like, this is done. This is just... Don't remind people that they have it, and don't get anyone new, because we're losing tons of money on this. Man, the percentage of people that probably buy their games from Best Buy that have this probably killed all the profit from it. It has to be, even if if you figure if there's not much margin to begin with for profit, if even 20%, 25% of the people had this program and used it for new games, that killed the profit. Like it was just done.
Oh, yeah.
Or it might have been worse than that. Maybe it's half. Because gamers know about this stuff. They find out. And who's going to walk into a Best Buy randomly to buy a video game? Wouldn't you walk into a GameStop instead, or a Target, or or a Walmart? Like Best Buy is sort of fringy now in terms of why you walk in there for.
Yeah.
That Circuit City exists almost only online now. So Best Buy is probably not doing that well either.
Yeah, it's like all my used stuff I get from Luna, and then the last few new games I've purchased have actually been from Target, just because I find myself in Target for other things.
And you can get the Target credit card or debit card. You get 5% off all your purchases.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
So even that's a discount. I got that when I got my Switch, and I saved what was that, 30? Pat math. It's like fucking $15-20. So there you go. When I bought my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I think that's when it came out. That's when they had it stocked. Good old Switch. You can buy it anywhere now. So anything else to add? You think Amazon's going to be done with this too? They're like, oh, well, we killed them off. We're going to...
We'll see. I mean, they started it on their own as a way to entice people into Prime. And they may keep it. I mean, honestly, it's a great perk of having Prime, and you pay $120 a year for Prime. Granted, you get the video, and now you get music, and you get the delivery, but it's a big thing.
Oh, so Amazon, I was right. It used to be 2 weeks after a game's launch. Now it's just pre-orders. They changed that.
Yeah, that I noticed. So maybe they'll just stay with that.
Because that's interesting. Once it's out, still having 20% off. That's
they haven't. Yeah, they got rid of that pretty quickly.
Because they probably realized, wow, we're taking a hit here too.
They were
not that Amazon cannot just buy and sell all of us, but Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world now. He's worth the most, at least. He's worth like, what is it, $700 billion or something ridiculous?
Jesus.
Again, it's not liquid cash though, but still. Anyway, so we'll see if we get another. What's the program from GameStop you get for percentage off? What do you get? You get like a free towel when you walk in? What do they offer? GameStop towel, power to the players. You get a beanie. What do they give you there?
Nothing.
They give you nothing. This is an interesting topic, Ian, that we almost brought this up last time, but for some reason we didn't want to. But something that you're very excited about. It's the Super SD System 3. Why don't you tell us all, Ian, what it's all about?
So there are some reviews on this out already, and I would like to look into it a little bit more, but this is just something that's particularly interesting to me. The Super SD System 3 is an SD card adapter that can plug into the expansion port on a PC Engine and I believe a TurboGrafx 16 as well.
Yeah, it should be the same in the back.
PC Engine, Core Graphics 2, and Super Graphics. It allows you to play the Who cards, Turbo Chip, and then CD, Super CD, and even arcade CD-ROM ISOs directly from an SD card without the need for the CD hardware or even an arcade card. It will double as the arcade card. It'll act as the arcade card.
And the arcade card is the 3.0 card plus the extra memory for, what is it, 15 to 20 games?
Yeah,
something like that.
Something along
like
those lines.
like the Neo Geo arcade games.
Yeah,
like
mostly that. Neo Geo arcade ports, Fire Pro Women's, and
look that up while we do this.
And a handful of Mahjong games.
Are you?
I have them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's like two Mahjong games, I think.
The most advanced Mahjong games known to man.
Lots of animation. So, It's expensive. It's about $300.
It's more. It's more than that when you do the pat math. It's like 320.
240 euros.
Yeah, it's not cheap. But you know what? We were talking about this before. I was surprised how much in value the arcade card went up in value. The orange, because I bought mine in 2010 for like $30,
Yeah.
and now it's worth like what 180, 200, something like that.
Oh yeah, and this also does like this also does RGB out. This also has RGB output, which is pretty impressive. So it depends on what you want to do. It sounds very expensive, and it is, but it does quite a lot if it does it well. So you can get a standard core turbo PC engine, especially if you're looking at a PC engine or core graphics or
A little
something
square,
like that.
little white or gray one. Yeah.
You can get those for relatively cheap online.
If you don't have to get them shipped, they're like $40, right?
Yeah.
50.
50, 60,
They're cute. They're tiny. They should have been like that in the U.S. They should have been cute.
With this, so you're looking at $350. This eliminates the need for you to get an arcade card.
Oh, this can't plug into a turbo. Now I'm looking at it.
Okay.
It's different on the back, I think. Yeah. I think it's different.
So it plugs into, let me double check here. PC Engine Core Graphics
Yeah, no
2, and
turbo.
Super Graphics. That's fine.
Okay.
So it plugs into those, and it gives you all of your CD capability.
AV multi-out, composite video and stereo audio. Compatible with Mega Drive or Genesis 2 AV cables. There you go. Those are cheap.
Yep.
You buy those for $1.50.
And it gives you the arcade card function. So an arcade card pro is that's what you need for the non-duo units. That goes for shit like 200, I think. 150.
The system, just the regular 3.0?
No, the arcade card pro.
The one we're talking about. Yeah, it was like 180 when I looked it up last night.
Okay. Those are, so that's expensive.
Keep in mind, there's only, I looked it up, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 11 arcade CD-ROM games, and then for regular, that's it.
Yeah.
There's only 11.
And then the arcade card duo is about $50 to $70.
There's only 11? I thought there was more than that.
So if you want to go with a, if you want to do software on hardware, if you want to go essentially an EverDrive route, this is a fantastic way to do it. This is way better than going with, provided it works.
Well,
as it says.
because you get the CD games too. If you find
Yeah,
if you find
this-
the ISOs for them.
So many of the great games on the PC Engine are CD based. The Turbo and the PC Engine EverDrives are fantastic, but I've always told people the thing that is less than stellar about it is half the library is missing. You're only accounting for one half the library, and you can still burn those, but burning CD-ROM games for the PC Engine is a nightmare. You have to do it as slow as you possibly can. It's not as simple as just finding necessarily an ISO. You have to find a specific type. Sometimes you have to load, you have to load wave files separately for the
Oh, you do?
background music.
Okay.
Yes. It can be difficult. This makes it a whole lot easier, and you don't need to need to go and buy a ton of blank CDs and constantly check these and retry these. Plus, there's always the talk of how burning the CDs for the PC Engine ruins the CD drive, taxes it harder because you're already burning lower quality CDs.
Okay.
That's what everyone has said.
That sounds strange to me just because the CDs that were made in the late 80s, early 90s aren't as good as the ones you get today.
So
That just sounds strange to me.
if it's expensive, but for what you pay, you should get
Yeah.
an
Okay.
all-encompassing emulation on original hardware
In-game menu trigger for faster loading.
solution.
Store each game backup RAM to micro SD, allowing infinite game saves. That's pretty cool.
It is because the memory can be fickle on a PC Engine as well.
So can you also play Turbo Hue card images on this? Are they .pce? Aren't they? I think they are. I think they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that. Yeah, they should be exactly the same.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be locked. Okay. So this, for the right person, I would say for the person that already has, I'd say the core graphics or original PC Engine, this is probably their best route.
Yeah.
To me. Now, that said, I would still love to see a modernized something like that freaking, what was that Freak system, or it was built in. It was like the Retron 5, but also had turbo games built in. I would love to have a solution to get HDMI out, on a modern system. A modern sort of turbo/CD system. That's what I would like.
Sure.
Maybe we're not there yet. Maybe this is a go-between or an alternative option.
I'd be interested in how many people would prefer the RGB. I would prefer the RGB over the HDMI, and that's what they have. I wonder if that was a choice.
Most people don't have something with RGB.
Yeah, but a lot of people who are playing this
would want that.
Yeah.
This is very targeted.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't an item for mass consumption anyway.
Well, it has the AV multi out as well, but there's no HDMI composite video. Okay. All right. Well, get this to play your 11 CD arcade games.
I already have.
I have the Neo Geo ones, which is like 3 of them, right? World Heroes. There's Fatal Fury Special, I think.
Fatal Fury Special, Fatal Fury 2, and
here's the list. Let's just go through the fucking
Fighter.
list. There's only 11 of them. So you got Garu Densetsu 2.
that's Fatal Fury.
That's
2.
Fatal Fury 2. You have Ryu no Ken, which is Art of Fighting, which I love that game. You get World Heroes 2, so I think I have all 3 of those. Then you get Mad Stalker Full Metal 4th. Never played that. Looks cool to beat 'em up. You get the Strider game in there. Okay. Battlefield 94 in Tokyo Dome. No idea what that is.
That's Fire Pro Women's. I have that.
Okay, that's what it is. Fatal Fury Special, which I have that one. Another Fire Pro Joshi.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the one I have.
Okay, so that's, what is that one? Is that the female one? Which one is that?
That's the female one.
Okay. So I don't think I played that. And then you have Far East of Eden. It's a series of role-playing video games. Okay, it's a role-playing game. And then finally you get Sapphire.
There's Sapphire, well, then it's missing some. There's also Mahjong Sword, and then
Well, this is just Wikipedia, so it must be missing something.
Mahjong Sword, and then there's another Mahjong one. Although there's games that can use the arcade card that don't require it, which are missing from that list.
Maybe that's what it is. Okay, you're good with just the 2.0 card, or excuse me, 3.0 card for a Super CD-ROM. Remember, Super CD-ROM, you need a 3.0 card, which in the U.S. goes for a ton of money. I think it's like $200 the U.S. one, unless you had a Turbo Duo, which was built in. But then you still needed the arcade card. But in the U.S. they didn't have it because we got shit on in the U.S. when it came to this stuff. So all right, well, so Ian might get this if he saves his allowance money. I probably will not.
Yeah, I'll probably keep collecting physical. I just think it's a really cool thing that's out there now.
This was a interesting topic about collectors being trolled by a Craigslist ad in San Francisco, brought to attention by, once again, third podcast in a row, our pal Chris Kohler.
Chris Kohler of the week.
The Chris Kohler topic of the week. We got to get to record something. Like, hey guys, it's Chris. All right, so the Craigslist ad was taken down, but I did see it.
So did I.
It was advertised a huge moving sale on May 19th at 8 a.m. Okay? I'm not sure the exact area in San Francisco. It looks like, according to the picture here, that, thank God there's a screenshot of it, it was Trinity Hills Lane at Wood Hollow Drive. So the location was marked there, which you don't often see that on these ads for like garage sales or whatever else. I don't see that all the time. So usually I just see like what the address is. I don't see it like on the Google map. Anyway, moving sale this Saturday, 5/19 at 8 a.m. Lots of great stuff. Can't take a lot with us, so we need to downsize. Please bring cash and make offers. Just need the stuff gone. Hope to see you there. Items include furniture, clothes, yard equipment, TV, Legos, board games, collectibles, art, baby stuff, toys, boxes of video games, see pictures, tools, housewares, electronics, craft supplies, and a lot more. So there's like 12 pictures of stuff when you scroll through it. Now I can't have access to all of them because the listing was removed by the author. But there was 3 to 4, 5 pictures of video game pictures. Like one is Super Nintendo games. I think one was maybe Genesis. But the one that caught my eye and Chris's was a bunch of TurboGrafx 16 stuff.
Yeah.
A box console, the box turbo stick, the box turbo tap, turbo pad. Then you had, looks like 11 games in the box, including, you had some of the crappy ones like JJ and Jeff. Then you get Bonk 3 in the box, which goes for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. World Sports Competition, a later release. So obviously, if you're on Craigslist and you're looking for moving sale or garage sales, you see this and you're clicking like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is the mother load. So, according to Chris, I haven't seen any articles written about this. Chris said, and I even asked him, hey, Chris, did you show up to this? Because I'm guessing he did. He probably did. I don't know how you would know about this, but maybe he didn't. But he said this was apparently a troll listing that had a bunch of Bay Area collectors standing around in the middle of nowhere this morning. So I guess the Google or whatever, the map image with the address was nowhere. It wasn't someone's house. It was just nowhere. That you had a bunch of people show up to at 8 a.m. and probably before that.
Oh boy.
And they got their asses trolled.
I have a feeling Chris probably did not show up.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think
Knowing
he did.
Chris, you don't think so?
No.
Okay. You think he's got the word from other friends?
Yeah. I look at it and it's like,
I know Chris goes early to these things.
well,
Like
sure. I look at this and I think, okay, the guy who posted this is a jerk. And at the same point, I feel like this was a fairly obvious troll.
It was that obvious where it's like housewares, collectibles, toys, Legos, video games.
We've gotta go.
He's going for everything because
Yeah.
Lego collectors are just as nuts.
So are board
sellers.
game. I mean,
Yeah.
he's hitting all of the major. Whoever posted it hits all of the major, categories that people want to find at a moving sale. If you are having a real one, you do want to make sure you hit those. But it's the magic, we just need to get rid of this stuff. And then you go and you take pristine photos. I mean, the turbo photos, like laying it all out like that and stuff. If you're moving and you're having a moving sale, you take pictures of boxes. You know, you're like, here's a box with this stuff. Here's a box with other video game stuff. It just seems strange to me. If someone was a TurboGrafx fan and collector and had managed to keep stuff in that good of condition and it was all complete and they had those specific games, it's just too unbelievable to me. That's the sort of person that would have sold all that stuff way ahead of time if they wanted to get money out of it.
Sure.
I just don't find it believable that that's something someone's just going to let go.
Sure.
You might find a box of that stuff randomly at a moving sale. I have a friend who did. I have a friend who, I think I talked about on here before, but like a year ago, a friend called me at like fucking 6 a.m. He's out on New York time, and I didn't answer, and he sent me some texts, and he did. He got a really great, it was a TurboGrafx find. He got it from a garage sale, and it was about 15 games, a system, and they were mostly complete. Some had their boxes, some didn't. But it was just that. It was just like one box.
Yeah.
You know, he asked, do you have any other, video game stuff? No, it's just this. But, the system was complete. Some of the games were nice. But it was in a box, and it was that one great grab. It's not, but it wasn't like there were no pictures online,
Yes.
and it's not boxes and boxes, and not everything is immaculate.
People that are getting rid of stuff for whatever cheap, they don't give a shit. They're not going to take the time to, unless they know the value of it and get money out, are going to take these pristine pictures. Doesn't make any sense.
Right.
If you're going to take these sort of pictures, you're not going to say, okay, $10 for all this.
So you're not going to take all these pictures and spend all the time out and then say, come give me a fucking handful
I'm
of
not
dollars.
saying it's not bad to troll these people. It's absolutely bad to do that.
No,
but
it's bad.
You're pretty gullible if you see all these pictures taken. Did no one do a Google image search on some of these too to see what would potentially come up?
That would be interesting.
I'm sure these pictures were not the person who put these together. They probably just grabbed them from various places. I wish I saw the pictures. When I tried to load the page a few times, it was really slow for some reason. I guess it was getting hit, or a lot of people were finding out about this. I didn't see any Reddit posts, so it was just what Chris sent. But yeah, I would have investigated the exact spot before I went just to make sure. Just because I'm just paranoid about this sort of stuff, I would have said, okay, where exactly is? Let's look on a Google image, like a map, and see where I'm at. Oh, it's a field somewhere. Oh, that's probably not good.
Lest anyone
I
think...
wonder if the person who posted this, like the killer, come back and seen the crime was there and like looking around like, oh, what's going on? I getting his jollies off, or in the car taking pictures.
Right.
Or do you think this was targeted against a certain individual, or someone that just doesn't like the fact that a bunch of scalpers or resellers that are going out?
I think it's probably someone like that who thinks they're being
cute.
They're being cute, which, like I said, that's still a dick move. But I think everyone, this is where we've gotten to. I think with this sort of stuff is you get people who are all pissy and pissed off about this sort of thing, and then you get the people who are way too eager to jump on anything that seems even remotely like they can, get their hands on stuff. Maybe some people want this because they just want it. Maybe some people want to grab it because they see it as I can turn, $15 into $1,000.
I think most of it would be to make money off.
Probably. I don't want to think that. I don't. But yes, that's probably it.
You're so innocent, Ian.
Well, less people think I'm making fun of people and I'm acting like I'm never not gullible. I once tried to buy some drug from a street corner pharmacist and they never came back with my drug, so I lost $50.
What were you trying to buy, Ian?
I was trying to buy marijuana.
A young 14-year-old Ian. $50. Well, just get a dime bag.
I really wanted some marijuana, and I was...
you really wanted $50 worth. You wanted a whole weekend of fun.
Yeah, I was like fucking 16. I was dumb.
Oh, Ian.
I never really bought marijuana. I bought acid.
Oh, okay.
Acid was easy.
Acid was easier to buy?
Oh, acid was far easier to buy when I was in high school. Yeah.
I did not know that was all. I did not do
I lived in a strange time. A lot of people will tell you the late 90s, real easy to get acid in the Northeast.
All right.
Anyway.
So the only time I ever got screwed on a deal was someone off of Digital Press. And I'd done Digital Press deals before, like 3 or 4. This is like 2005.
Oh, you're talking like the message boards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd done, that's how I got like some of my rare NES games. I got like, not like dirt cheap, but like Bases Loaded 4 I got off of a forum board like that. So I did like 3 or 4 deals. Everything was fine. I got like my Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, for example, for like, we're not talking like dirt cheap, but like half the price of eBay. People say, oh, half the price. So it's PayPal, whatever. No bullshit. And then someone screwed me out of like $90 worth of games. All right, if I go back, I can find who that person is still. Ooh, I should.
Oh,
that would be interesting. Oh, no. Time doesn't heal all wounds. But that was, I probably can still log into my Digital Press forum post and see who that was, and that'd be an interesting segment. Maybe I'll do that because I found them on Facebook. I remember like a year later. Again, this is like 2006, so I found them a year later, and they ignored me. All right, I just thought of a new future topic. Maybe I'll do that for the 5th anniversary.
Okay,
that might be fun. That'd be the scumbag seller of the decade for me. All right, Chris. I'm sorry if I thought you went there, but you might have been there. Okay, Ian. Yeah. So we got this Bloodstained game coming out. We talked about like one of the first podcasts we ever did, I think, or not one of the first, but it was a while ago for the Bloodstained Kickstarter.
Well, this is and it's still not coming out.
This is like 3 years we're going on now for Bloodstained, right? When was the Bloodstained Kickstarter? I know we talked about it.
No, we sure did.
Bloodstained Kickstarter, and this is like a Castlevania style game.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's more the later Castlevania
by Koji Igarashi.
RPG elements you can explore around.
The more Metroid-y type.
That was over 3 years ago. It was March 2015.
Okay.
So it's been a while. And it was supposed to come out March of last year.
Woo!
Originally. So they're a little bit behind here.
Cooking along.
Which is fine as long as you're not getting pizza pepperoni explosions like Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
As long as people think they like the game, they can wait, right?
Right. Well, I mean, that's my take on it. But
so they raised $5.54 million. 64,867 backers want to play this game. Well, not that many, but almost that many are getting the game. It's like 64,000 people want this game. So, in the meantime, though, before this is coming out, they said, we're going to do an 8-bit style game.
Yeah. So, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is coming out this week, actually, May 24th. And it is going to be the companion / lead-in to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, that's the original one that was kickstarted, and hopefully we'll get to see, someday before we die. It's interesting. It's going to it's in the 8-bit sprite graphic style, and
it's not cheating. It looks 8-bit to me.
Yeah,
they're not cheating here.
And it is in the vein of Castlevania 3, and it looks semi-open.
It's in the lungs and the heart.
It looks to be level based, but semi-open, like Rondo of Blood. Okay. So I'm very interested in the and how the game will turn out.
But there's multiple characters like Castlevania 3.
Like Castlevania 3.
There's one character with a whip. There's one that uses magic. There's one that's like a thief, right? So they're
Yeah.
It's Castlevania 3, kind of.
Yeah, it looks to be like a very interesting game. The animation is spectacular. Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure what they're pushing here or how they're trying to get it done. If they're using, I don't think it's legitimately 8-bit. Some of these dragons and stuff are way too impressive.
Once you start getting into widescreen stuff,
Yeah.
it's not a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Technically, it's not an NES game.
I thought that's what you were trying to say. You thought it was.
No, I'm just saying like the
8-bit
graphics,
palette.
like
Sure,
like they're not cheating. It's not like,
No, they're using an 8-bit palette.
I'm saying it's an NES game. It's obviously not.
So it looks fantastic. I'm looking very forward to playing it. I was hoping it was going to come out before this podcast, and it has not. But I'll definitely be grabbing this on Thursday and playing it. Have you found your Switch? Are you going to give this a go?
Little mockery in that tone. Yes, I found my fucking Switch.
Okay, good.
I actually played a little bit of that. No, I didn't play it because the battery life drained. When I found it, the battery life was okay. The next week, it was done. And I was like, that's kind of weird.
I'm surprised it was even okay. The battery life drains pretty
Oh yeah,
fast.
there's an a la carte character that's just like him. Like it's so close when you look at it. Yeah, it looks like there's a woman with a whip. Looks like a woman. It was purpley, and you can switch back and forth between characters. So that's really you turn. Yes, this is Castlevania 3 for a modern era. I'm actually interested in playing this. It looks really interesting. You switch between characters on the fly, so you can fly as a bat across the little chasm there. Switch back to whip people, kick some ass. Yeah, this is a great idea, and I guess it goes to show you that in terms of development cycle, I guess it's a hell of a lot easier to put this together than they probably slapped this together in a year versus the other game that's been 3 years now.
That's the only thing that I wonder about. It's like, okay, this is cool that it's coming out, but what sort of siphoning of the development team did you have to pull away to get this out that you could be putting towards
Maybe
the actual game?
this wasn't like a Kickstarter goal, was it?
No, not that I'm aware of.
This was just, we're going to do this. Maybe it didn't cost them that much money. They figure this will satiate people until the other one comes out. You know, that's one thing I can think about. So this is so where is this going to be on? This is coming to Switch and 3DS on May 24th. Okay.
Nice.
What's it going to cost? Is there a cost on this? Let's see. Is there a cost? This shouldn't cost more than what, $20? You'd hope.
I think it's going to be 15 or 20.
Okay,
I mean, I'd pay that. That's not a problem.
All right, I'm in. I'll do it, Ian. I'll do it. I don't have enough games on my Switch. I'll buy it. I'll use some of that coveted SD space, internal memory space.
It's funny to see people complain about things in the comment about this. Like, yuck, there's a timer at the bottom of the stage. Yep.
Oh, really? Are people complaining about a timer?
Yeah. Or this classic chestnut from old. Oh, I hope there's a physical option, otherwise I won't be buying it. That'll be a game breaker. It's like, it's a small game. Like, do people even want to support anyone anymore? I understand the desire for a physical copy. I do. But if there is not going to be one, then all of your favorite game developers are going to fail, and you won't have anything to play. Congratulations.
I'm more of a 16-bit guy than an 8-bit guy. Thus, I don't like these modern 8-bit style games unless they really be good games and not just a nostalgia cash grab.
It's like, then support the hell out of people like limited run games and buy the physical releases when you can. But at this point, it's like you have to show interest in a digital version to even get a physical version.
People sure had it rough back in the day. Playing this is like romanticizing the nostalgia of going to work on a horse. What? What do you mean work on a horse? You mean like actually be on horseback? Is that what you mean? That would be cool, actually. But no, Castlevania 3 or this game is not like, oh my god, this is the hardest experience in the world. Is that what they're acting like? Like this is the hardest games ever? They're not. I mean...
No physical, no buy. I want you to go out of business before I buy your game.
Now, and this isn't me trying to jump on the modern gamers are sissies and can't play a game, but Castlevania 3 or that's not the hardest game of that generation. It's not even close. You know, it was challenging. It's not the hardest game. It's not like Ghosts and Goblins hard.
Oh, entitled fuckwits. Okay.
But some people are interested. One person said my excitement level rose from interested to need this now. There you go. People are citing The Messenger because that's a cool 8/16-bit style game. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's more of a modern sensibility. Someone's asking, does a 3DS want to have 3D visuals? No one cares about 3D visuals in games.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Okay, well, Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon. It looks good, and if you would maybe ever want to see a physical version of it, ever,
Yeah, 'cause
maybe
that's-
support it.
That's more the model now with like Limited Run and a few other companies. Like,
They see a game sell well, and they
It's
go,
cool. It's
People
popular.
are going to want that.
We'll do a physical release. There you go. Everyone wins. Ian, you usually like dining. You like food.
I do.
What do you like about food?
It's tasty. It's nutritious.
Doesn't it keep you alive too?
It does. And
You
I
know-
enjoy cooking it.
So you must enjoy Blue Apron.
I do. Especially because it comes to me at my door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue Apron is the leading meal kit delivery service. You're not just having burgers.
No.
No.
You know, every once in a while you'll get a burger recipe.
Yeah, but it would be something exciting, like a short rib burger,
Sure.
or like I had like a chicken burger. It was like a with a ginger.
So
and-
what is Blue Apron? They give you fresh ingredients and meal plans right to your door.
Exactly. Exactly.
Delicious meals like popcorn chicken with sweet chili cabbage claw and cumin spice wonton noodles with vegetables and peanuts on the table in 30 minutes or less. Sometimes they're 45 minutes. I just made ancho honey chicken fajitas. Delicious. I never would have thought to make that on my own.
And you got chicken parmesan coming up next.
I do. You know why? Because I'm lazy. So if you're lazy and you like good food because it keeps you alive, you're going to like Blue Apron.
Coming up for May, for the remainder of May, we have salmon and spicy orange salsa with quinoa and carrot salad.
Ooh.
Creamy pasto cavatelli with mushrooms and spicy
yeah.
breadcrumbs.
That's the stuff.
Also, white cheddar cheeseburgers with balsamic glazed onion and roasted potatoes. And pork chorizo tacos with radishes, roasted potatoes, and cotija cheese.
I'm definitely getting that.
Yeah,
I'm on board for that.
I love radishes too. My goodness.
So the CU Podcast has a deal. You can get your first 3 meals free by checking out blueapron.com/CU Podcast. Blue Apron offers 12 new recipes each week, and customers can pick 2, 3, or 4 recipes if you're really hungry based upon your schedule. You can skip weeks as well. You don't have to. There's no obligation there. And it's non-GMO ingredients, and it's usually locally sourced ingredients come to your door. You get fresh veggies and fresh stuff right to your door. And pre-proportioned.
No waste.
Cooked under 45 minutes. Most meals are some quicker meals. Most I've done are 45 minutes. And the menu changes every week based upon what's in season. It's designed by Blue Apron's in-house culinary team. They're a culinary team. They have one team walking around making the ingredients. That'd be funny. Anyway, again, for your first 3 meals free, go to blueapron.com/CU Podcast. Blue Apron. It's a better way to cook. Thundercats Roar. So Thundercats Roar was announced. It's coming to Cartoon Network. And it wasn't received that well. So it's a now this is a style I guess I'm not familiar with on Cartoon Network about. You look at me like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't watch Cartoon Network stuff. So you can tell me like what cartoon style is based on. But Thundercats Roar looks like a more comedic look and take on Thundercats.
Yep.
They are puffy, non-cat looking creatures that are anthropomorphic. They have all the same characters. You got Snarf in there. You got Wily Cat, Wily Kit. Those characters. You got Panthro and Chitara, and what's the guy with the whip called? I should know that. I don't. Besides Lion-O, and of course you have the villains there. So it looks like it's faithful in terms of the characters. Like that's proper. There was a little. I guess the intro was released. The intro of the show. They had them. Yeah. Like the animation itself looks good. Like it looks pretty good. It looks like it's hand drawn. Looks like it. I mean, maybe they obviously could be faking it with CG, but it looks like it's hand drawn. And it looks like it's kind of following the story. Like they go out on the planet and whatever else, and they fight off Mumra. So that's all fine and good. I guess there's been backlash though against people who actually grew up with Thundercats, and it's like, what the hell is this? And I was one of the same ways. All I just tweeted was they don't like cats at all. They just don't. So it's almost like you're losing that part of it. But to me, it's not so much the issue with the artistic style, which I don't. If that's what's the popular style on these Cartoon Network shows, you can explain it to me. These sort
There's
of
nothing
like
to explain. It's just the current.
it's a current
popular style.
It's just sort of I guess, more kiddie style, exaggerated body parts, or
There have been popular styles in anime. There was a specific style that was popular in the 90s. There's various types of animation styles that have been more popular throughout the United States. I mean, yeah, it looks samey, and I'm not a fan of it, but it's just a fucking style of animation.
sure.
I mean, Jesus Christ, that's all it is.
That's one thing. Okay, I'm looking at a bunch of other ones here. That's the one thing. The other thing, though, is that, okay, is now, what is the tone of this? How far removed is the tone of this show versus the original or the 2011 iteration? And that's where I think bothering me the most, because obviously this is a totally different tone. And it's obviously going to be for a different audience, a younger audience. So, yeah, even looking at, they released, people went nuts when they saw they released I guess the image, like the poster image. And yeah, it's all exaggerated. It's the same characters, though. There's Panthro. There's the lizard guy, I forget his name. Chitara, the beak guy. I used to have some of the toys, but I only had like 3 of the toys. They were expensive. I won them on Seaside Heights Boardwalk, actually. I won a couple. There was a stand with candy, and then they had Thundercats figures for some reason. So I was like, oh my God, Thundercats. Anyway, so my point about when you're doing these remakes or reboots is that there's almost, if you're going to be so off in terms of the tone, why bother dredging up the old property versus starting a new one? Because you're not going to attract any younger people who didn't grow up with the Thundercats necessarily, because they didn't hear about it. You're only going to potentially risk really pissing off people that might have looked into it if it was in the same style or in the same tone. So it's a huge risk and gambit, and it could be something that a lot of people are turned off and won't even check it out. Even if it's quality, they're going to be like, I'm not even going to get on board with this, because this is going to be a joke, and it's going to treat a franchise I love like an absolute joke. And that's more the sentiment that I've seen, or at least I've taken away from this, from Thundercats Roar. It could be a fun show. It absolutely could be an entertaining show. It could be fun and goofy and everything else, but to a lot of people, that's not why they like Thundercats. It just isn't.
Counterpoints. The reason why they do reboots is because they don't have to create any new characters. They already have.
It's not a counterpoint. Okay, I understand. But yeah.
They get the structure.
They have something that's been well established.
They have an established structure. They have an established characters. They have good guys. They have bad guys. That's why. It's simple. These cartoons are mostly there to sell toys, to sell merchandise, to entertain. Kids aren't going to be interested because they don't know the Thundercats. But that's the same as starting fresh with a new property. So why wouldn't they go back and grab something that they've already worked on? It makes sense. These are for kids. The fact that we have an attachment to them is fine. Really, they don't need to worry about pissing off adult fans. They don't. They need something that works for kids.
So isn't that an indictment of the state of children's entertainment?
Sure.
I mean, a huge indictment, because
It's also an indictment of us being way too fucking attached to the Thundercats.
hey, I love the Thundercats. I'm not getting into tizzy because of this. I'll just never watch it probably, or I'll check it out a little. Maybe I'll see the little toys and think, okay, that's cute.
And that's exactly it.
But these were when we grew up with these cartoons, they weren't quote unquote for kids necessarily. They were, adults could watch them. Adults could watch Transformers or G.I. Joe or Thundercats or even Mask, because they had adult looking characters and a lot of times mature themes in some of these episodes. Especially stuff like G.I. Joe. I'm not as familiar with Transformers, but some of this stuff was pretty heady back then. So I guess it's an indictment on not trusting kids to be able to handle the same sort of entertainment that we did. And that is a back in my day thing, because it absolutely is. But
that's not to say that this Thundercats won't do the same thing. Shows like Adventure Time and regular show look like kids stuff and are made for kids, but also deal with heady themes and relationships and death. And it's just a different era. I can't fault them for falling back on something that's been used before, because it's already in the pop culture lexicon and it's already there ready for them to use, and they need to make more children's shows. I'm tired of adults acting like everything has to be protected for them when we live in a commercial society and this sort of shit's just gonna happen. We can't keep gatekeeping stuff for kids. These TV shows are becoming like comic books, where this stuff just gets reused over and over. Fresh iterations are going to come out. Some are going to suck. Some aren't going to suck. And this is just how it is. We have what we like. We don't have to like every version of it. And we have to realize that sometimes they're going to take the easier way out. Without even seeing this, some people can be sick of the art style, and that's totally understandable. But without seeing how they attack this,
So
you can't say anything about the story based on an art style.
So is this going to be potentially turning into something like with the next generation of My Little Pony, where it's like you had the original version, they have a new version that's totally different in tone, but now you capture it for the younger generation, so at least you're passing it on.
Right, exactly. I don't know.
I just think it's strange to use Thundercats to do this. I think it is. I just think it's not like you couldn't come up with something in this vein. It comes back to laziness. Let's not create our own characters. Let's not try to build our own worlds. Let's get probably people that are. I think that one of the showrunners I saw was actually really a huge Thundercats fan, is familiar with it. So stories are pre-written. Interactions are basically pre-written. Personalities are pre-written. Most of the work is done for you. Coming up with the characters, it's done. It's finished.
Well, then, I mean, at this point, we're all assuming that the story's going to be shit, and we don't know that.
Oh, I didn't say anything about the story.
Well, if the story's good, then really it doesn't really matter what it looks like.
I'm just saying the tone has turned off people, and it's like
tone? We don't know what the tone is beyond the picture.
Beyond the pictures and the intro video, it's going to be comedic first and foremost. And then while the cartoon obviously had comedic elements with Snarf and everything else, interactions.
That's fair.
There was always comedic elements to even Transformers or to G.I. Joe or to Mask. That was always secondary to, the action in the actual plot. God, I haven't watched Thundercats in so long. I used to love that show.
I never liked it, so I have no real interest in this either.
Well, the animation was beautiful. Out of all those cartoons in the 80s, you could argue that Thundercats arguably had one of the best animation of all.
Sure, it probably looked
fantastic back then. They only did, I think, a couple of seasons. Let's see that. People were saying, well, you didn't watch the 2011 version.
And I also agree with that. People want to get high and mighty on it. Well, where were you the last time it happened? And I know Cartoon Network put it in a shitty slot, but they probably would not have put it in a shitty slot if anyone had turned in for the first 10 episodes of it, which wasn't in a shitty slot.
Or maybe it didn't sell enough toys and they buried it.
Right. So
But that's not a good excuse to get rid of a show, is selling toys, at least to me. Yes, they're related. I get that, but...
Or no one tuned in.
Or both. Or I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes of Thundercats. I'm not as big as Thundercats.
And people had that shot. And if this one doesn't succeed, then great, they failed again. And if it does succeed, and it succeeds because they sold toys, then they succeeded in their mission.
But what if people watched the 2011 TV series and still don't like this? You can't assume that no one watched the 2011 series.
No, Vonnie did. I mean, people did, but it got... All I'm saying is it doesn't fucking matter.
Sure. I just think people would rather saw it. Like, I think people were pissed that version wasn't continued. Well,
people were, because in hindsight, everyone there were people who watched it then, and I had a bunch of people in the store who told me it was good. And I watched a little bit of it, and it was. But there's no guarantee that if they brought it back like that, it would do any better than this.
Sure.
What is their actual target market? Is it going to reach what they want it to reach? If it does, then congrats. And if it doesn't reach you and they don't care, then fuck off.
How many Thundercats episodes were there now? I did not know there were that many. I thought maybe it was on for 5 years. 85 through 89. Okay. I thought it was only on for a couple years. I don't remember watching it for that long. Wow. That's more than they had G.I. Joe episodes, 130 episodes. Wow.
It's depressing when people like Pixel Dan try to talk about it and have like an adult conversation about it on Twitter, and he just, he has to sign off because he can't handle all the freaking negativity surrounding it.
Sure. Like you could, like I said, I don't have
it's gross. It's fucking garbage.
What do you mean people are just being toxic about it and being like,
just being
ruin my childhood?
Yeah.
Well, 130 episodes. I gotta watch some of these. I've probably only seen about 30 or so episodes. It was not like on my rotation like G.I. Joe was, or even He-Man back in the day. Oh, okay, it was 4 seasons. Was there a final episode? There's got to be a final episode. Yes, I think there was a final episode. Cool. They presented a somewhat legitimate finale for the complete series, so that's good. Because fucking didn't get that with G.I. Joe. That's for damn sure. So, yeah, don't piss me off about that. Your shitty fucking movie ending and going to dick and screwing over Sunbow Animation. Sorry. The dick G.I. Joe ones are horrendous compared to the Marvel Sunbow ones. Like, they're awful. Sorry. All right, so I probably will just check it out of curiosity, but it's not like I'm not really the Cartoon Network humor type no matter what. So, all right. So, Ian, this is another surprising topic that we talked about a little bit, and you actually have a pretty good solution about why this is happening. But we had I guess it was kind of surprising announcement of Resident Evil 7 coming to Nintendo Switch. And this is a, fairly new game still, right? When did this come out? This came out a year ago?
A year or so.
So if this is coming to the Switch, it would be a pretty big deal. Has a listing on the Japanese eShop. It's confirmed that English will not be included. So at this point, we're not sure it's going to come here, but at least it's going to be in Japan, as I guess Biohazard Resident Evil. But it's Resident Evil 7 cloud version.
Yep.
So you're going to download, I think I said 20 or 30 megs. 45 megs will download to your Switch, and then you'll be streaming it. You'll have to have an online connection to stream, and you'll be playing it via the cloud. That's extremely interesting and actually surprising, and not really something I even considered when the Switch was announced about how do you handle games that aren't powerful enough. And that's something you come up with. It's like, well, this could be a solution to that potentially.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I think it's somewhat obvious would be that it's not, the Switch can't handle it. So we'll try seeing how it manages if you're streaming it from a cloud.
Which it's using the cloud's power.
Yeah, you're using the cloud's power, and you're just
That mysterious cloud out there.
You're basically just controlling it with your Switch.
It's feature.
So it's interesting how they're letting you do it. It's you get 15 minutes to try it out for free, which is good because I'm sure a lot of people are questioning how it would play or handle. See if there's any lag or anything like that. Test out your internet connection speed, see if it's up to snuff. And then you pay, I think it's $20 for a ticket. They're 2,000 yen, so about $20 for a ticket that lasts 180 days, 3 months. And so you have a 3-month time limit, basically, to rent the game.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I kind of know why they're doing it, but go on.
So that's very strange. I don't like the idea at all. Really, I wouldn't be interested in it in any way, shape, or form. But as an experiment, I find it
$18 right now.
Okay. As an experiment, I find it interesting just to see if it is viable for other games going forward. Obviously, anything on the cloud is going to be very impermanent. I guess I sort of understand why they would more or less rent the game out to you.
Well, because it's in the cloud, so they got to run the server especially just for the game.
Oh yeah, no, obviously.
So to me that makes sense.
It's a subscription service.
But I guess we haven't gone to this neighborhood before. Of yes, there's been those streaming gaming services, but nothing like this was like you're basically paying for a streaming service per game potentially.
Right.
So that's a little bit different. So how do they price that out? They're running it off servers. It's not just bandwidth for a multiplayer server. They're processing the game and sending it to you. So I guess that's cost more. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm guessing it has to. So I don't know what the solution is to here. But you're getting it for half the year for $20. Would that be enough for some people to play it once and be like, okay, I've had...
Oh yeah, half the year.
Is that half the year? 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, 180 days. So would that be enough for most people? I got it for half the year. I played it, $20. I'm good, but then I can't play it ever again. I don't know. I don't know what to feel about that personally.
It would really depend on... I mean, it has all the DLC content and stuff like that, but yeah, that's too strange to me.
But,
I don't like the concept.
But if it's streaming, in theory, doesn't that mean though you'll get like full frames rates? Like it'll do more than what the Switch can do. Because you know what I mean? Like because it's not depending on the power of the Switch. You're just bringing in a stream from somewhere. The computational power is not on your Switch, right? You're not using the graphic power on your Switch. You're just displaying it on your Switch.
True. Yeah, I have no idea.
This is going to be... I'm very curious. Because if this works out, you found a sort of way to get these modern, more powerful AAA games onto the Switch. There's like a backdoor way of doing it. Obviously, though, then you have to be hooked up to the internet.
Yeah.
And you have to have a good internet connection to do it. Although you can't do it on a plane, you can't download them, obviously. So this is curious. This either could be a disaster, or this could open up. I don't know. Like I was joking to you, maybe you get GTA. You get GTA on the Switch. This is the one way you do it. But if you can do it, you can do it. But I don't know what the server upkeep is for streaming games. I have no idea what it is.
No, neither do I.
But I'm guaranteeing you it's not cheap to do it. Like what those gaming streaming servers they're all gone by now, right? Are they still around?
PS Now is the big one that's still up and around. PlayStation Now.
Have you seen that in person?
I haven't used it. My buddy uses it all the time.
He likes it.
He likes it for. He realizes that it has quite a few problems. He says for games that aren't like heavy action, like fighting games and stuff, it's good. It's good for. He said the puzzle games and all the RPGs and stuff like that that don't,
lower intensity.
Yeah, lower intensity games that don't require, frame by frame.
It's really dusty. Sorry.
That's right. That don't require, extraordinarily quick, button presses and stuff like that. I have no interest in using a streaming service for games. Not right now. That seems like something that needs a lot of work.
What was the generic one that went under?
Game Tap.
Is that the one from like 3-4 years ago?
I think so.
5 years ago? I remember it being at E3.
I think it was Game Tap.
I was like, oh, you can play Duke Nukem Forever on here, or whatever else. I was like, oh, okay. That's how old it was. All right. I'm actually curious, but for now, it looks like it's not coming out in North America. So we'll see if that leads to, I don't know, God of War Switch version in the future, or Halo Switch.
That would require cross.
That's coming. I keep saying that. It's coming. Ian, we have an interesting scumbag.
Seller.
Of the week. International version.
Yes.
So this is microcade.net. And what they're selling, it looks like they're selling a Raspberry Pi type of device. Over 35,000 games for $140 with 2 generic European Super Nintendo gamepads.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair enough. We can do something for week all the time about this.
Right.
But that's not why we are, and when this was sent to us, this is not why we're picking them.
Oh, no.
We want you all right now, right now on your smartphone or computer to go to microcade.net.
Probably on your computer best. I don't know how this is. I don't know if this will break your phone.
Because you're talking about a throwback website.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking, like I said, this is, to say this is a GeoCities site is insulting, or an Angel Fire site. What was the third one that was down back to? Tripod. Maybe it's a tripod site. I had a GeoCities website back in the day. I tried to find it in the Wayback Machine. I couldn't. You have a background of Microcade written like the original like Sega Master System font. Then you have a wall of NES games, and on the right side, for some reason, you have Cheetah Men 2 and Save Events just randomly there. And then you have just a scrolling list of items. But
it hurts.
There's a
counter.
There's an old school counter on the bottom. See our reviews on Facebook with a thumbs up, which makes you realize you're not in the late 90s, because otherwise you might think this is 97. There's PayPal, and then this is it's in Australia. Should have said that. And then you can click on the image to order, and then you click on the image, and you go to this other sort of generic store site with 6 digits in the URL. It's almost like you're getting hacked at any point in this process. I might have been hacked right now. No. I don't know if I'm still recording this podcast as we're doing this. So obviously, you get what you get for 140 Australian, which is cheaper US. I think it's like 100 US, something like that. 110. You get the Microcade. You get 2 Super Nintendo USB wire controllers. Over 35,000 games for 140 Australian dollars. Well, if you're in Australia, it's 140. It's 140. It's just cheaper to us. And then you get the set for 4 controllers for 160, and then you get a 16 gigabit micro SD card with all the games loaded for $60 Australian.
Woo!
That's a card that'll cost you $8, $7, because it's the like lowest version of the micro SD card. So.
Oh, this site needs some like rotating flaming skulls and one of those text lines that just bounces back and forth from the left to the right.
Oh yeah, like the little.
Yeah. Boop, boop. It's a simple HTML
I
tag.
think I told you I need an under construction GIF.
Yeah.
With the guy shoveling.
Yeah, the guy shoveling.
That's this GIF.
I want to know what web ring this this site is part
this
of.
the Scumbag Seller web ring?
Yeah.
That would be great. I want to know how the person. This is almost like trolling for Scumbag Seller of the Week.
Yeah, I think they
I don't know
did this to get picked.
I gotta look back and see who actually sent this to me. Whether or not this is their store. You get the list of games. I didn't click on the list of the games that you get. Oh, let me see what that looks like. Oh, hopefully it's just a text document. Oh, it goes to a Google text file, Google Drive text file.
Really?
Oh, does it really? Can I edit this? No, you can't edit it. Oh my God. We can all go and just can we chat with each other in here? Oh my God, Microcade is currently in the document. There's a red circle around there. Microcade is in the document while I'm in it right now.
Okay.
Can I send him a text in here? Can I do that? They see me in here. If they click, the person in the document can see that Pat Contry's Google account is there. It'll show up. That is so funny. They actually have this open. Their cursor is on the top.
Where is this?
It's right there. Click on games list, included systems.
Oh, games list. Sorry,
Click
I didn't
on.
see it. My eyes were bleeding.
Come on in. We'll see that we're both in here. We can request edit access in here. This is an interactive Scumbag Seller.
Oh my God, it is. All right.
Are you in there too?
I'm in.
And now we got anonymous. Are you the anonymous dragon?
No.
You might be the anonymous dragon because I don't see you. I see.
Oh,
you
you're
in
an
there.
anonymous hedgehog.
Okay, so you're in here too with me. He sees us in here.
Yep.
You want to request access? No, we don't want to tip him off.
Can I say anything?
No, I don't think you can do it. No, he's in the document though. We can share it. We'll share it once this goes live.
All right.
We don't want to tip him off. Let's get out of here.
I wanted to say that he was on Scumbag Seller of the Week, but
this is an interactive Scumbag Seller of the Week.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty funny. If only we could chat here. I could save it. I can share it myself if I wanted to. But anyway, it's just a list of the games here. That's all. 35,000 games. I'm out there. All right. So this is a very amusing, not the most nefarious Scumbag Seller of the Week because these are sold all over Facebook, but I guess the throwback style is what was warming my heart.
yeah, check out this guy's web construction chops.
I mean, Wix doesn't cost that much. You think for the $140, you get like a 2-year subscription to Wix.com, which used to be a sponsor of the CU podcast at one point. And you can put something a little more professional. Okay, that's it. So microcade.net, you are the charming Scumbag Seller of the Week. Ian, you're looking a little scruffy there. You were clean shaven a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow it back, but I need to trim this up. Edge it up here.
Get the little neck hair gone there.
Yeah.
You can use, what you can use for that? You can use Dollar Shave Club's executive razor.
Damn straight.
That's what you can do. It's not a straight razor, but the blades are straight. There's 6 of them on here. 6 blades, and you get 4 cartridge replacements here. Go to dollarshaveclub.com/cushave, and you can get any razor there, including the Humble Twin, which is 2 blades.
That's what I use.
You like the Humble. You don't need 6. You want only 2.
Nothing fancy
Anyway,
here.
They're all $1 with free shipping, no commitment, cancel anytime. And Dollar Shave Club has other stuff, and you know that. You can use the shave butter at Dollar Shave Club. They got the One Wipe Charlie.
One Wipe Charlie for your butt.
Okay, you can wipe other parts, but you can also do that as well. And again, I like the executive razor. It's good for having an extra razor around if you want to travel or you use it every day. And again, go to dollarshaveclub.com/CU, the letters CU shave. See, I'm going to see you shave, Ian. Mm-hmm. And then you can get any razor for $1. Free shipping, no commitment, cancel anytime. No, don't do it dry, Pat. Ian, we're the preeminent Fortnite commentators on YouTube.
Yeah, we're the biggest. We're the best.
They're the first forefront. We are partially responsible for the huge popularity of Fortnite.
Yes.
We were there. We were there.
We were there at the cutting edge.
So, Epic Games has announced on the 21st that they're going to provide $100 million for just the first year of Fortnite esports tournament prize pools.
That's insane.
The 1 year of competitive tournaments, they're going to offer $100 million in prize pool. So this was a short announcement. Grab your gear, drop in, and start trainings. Blah, blah, blah. For the 2018-19 season, Epic Games will provide $100 million to fund to fund prize pools for Fortnite competitions. We're getting behind competitive play in a big way, but our approach will be different. We plan to be more inclusive, focus on the joy of playing and watching the game. Stay tuned for more details and competitive structures and eligible platforms in the weeks ahead. All right.
Wow. $100 million. The fact that you can do that for your game in the first year.
How long has this been out for? Has it been a year?
I don't think so. I mean, I think I was introduced to it in, I want to say, October, November. I think was when even that seems.
September 26th.
Okay, so October. Yeah, October or November.
It's been 9 months.
Yeah.
Just about 8 months.
My buddy Lincoln showed me the game, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
So, obviously, this means a few things. They're making a shit ton of money on a free game.
I don't know how accurate it is, but Lincoln said something like $1 million a day.
It might be.
Yeah, I think
it
would have to be if you're tossing that money around.
Because there's still hundreds of $millions in the black on this.
Yeah.
So it's like, who cares? This is I guess we can to deduction. We're basically giving this money away. So that's good. But also, this tells me that they're really thinking about the future, that they don't want this. Games like this could easily die out. Mm-hmm. I mean, this thing shot up in popularity so quickly that we haven't seen, like I said, we haven't seen a game this popular since Minecraft, probably, where it was like everywhere. We don't see the little toys and games, and stuff like Comic-Con. But I'm guaranteed at Comic-Con this year, we're going to see fucking Fortnite stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We're going to see cosplay or toys or whatever else. So that's when you know something's hit the big time. But they're worried about this being taken seriously going forward, because if this is only popular for the next 6 to 8 months or 9 months, then okay, we made our money, but then we're done. So this is to make sure this stays in the public spotlight and make sure that competitive gamers play it that may not have looked at it before, because if they're dealing with games that might actually make them money, why would you play this? And it's smart. It's very smart. It's free advertisement. We're talking about it. Everyone's been talking about it, and so your game is going to be top of mind for the next year at least or two by doing this. And then it's not as big of a joke of a game. It's like, okay, you can play as competitively. They say we want to be more inclusive and focus on the joy of playing and watching the game. So it's almost like they're trying to position themselves as, we're going to give away prize money, but we're not going to be like as huffy and puffy as the other gaming tournaments out there.
It's a significant reinvestment into the game, and this is how you do it with a free to play game. Obviously, they keep doing things. They have a silly little storyline. They changes the maps every, I think, season, mm-hmm. Or every, however they actually call it. That changes the maps every few months and stuff like that. But by putting the money in, and essentially, they're investing that into the players, and by investing into the players, they're hoping to keep them to stick around. And by throwing significant amounts of money at it, we'll have to see how this breaks down per prize pools and how many tournaments this goes into. But we're talking about real fucking cash here. I mean, bigger payouts than I think we would see for most tournaments.
We don't know how many tournaments this is going to be given to, or how it's partitioned out. Is it 1 million over 100 tournaments? Is it one tournament going to be 15 million? Obviously, with something like Fortnite, they can go to ESPN and say, "Listen, we want to do this on TV. We see you do other stuff like Evo and other tournaments like the Dota, what the hell, the college one, the dorm thing. We want to get this on TV."
And while I am relatively burnt the fuck out on people talking about this game, I do watch Lincoln play it. He's the only friend I have who really plays this with any degree of regularity. It's really not a bad. It's kind of fun to watch the game.
It looks fun.
It is. It's fun to watch it. It's third person, so it's not rough on my eyes like a first person. I can see more going on. I don't have a lot of shitty things to say about the game other than it's everywhere. I mean, I try not to be cynical when I don't need to be. It's a neat looking game. People can get into it for free. If you don't have a shitload of money, download Fortnite and play. Like, sure. It looks good enough, So, good on them for striking it with something that works, and hopefully people will keep having fun with it. I have a feeling at some point it's going to dry out. And, you know, all the other companies that are trying to jump onto its bandwagon, I think, are going to find themselves wasting money trying
Well,
to.
it's all these companies that are going to say we need a battle royale mode in our game.
Yeah.
We're going to shoehorn one in, even though maybe that's not why people like their game. Like, isn't the announced Black Ops 4? Was there a game announced?
Black Ops 4 is going to have a battle royale. Everything's going to, but if this is the game that everyone's playing and this nailed it so well, it's such a specific type of game mode.
Yeah.
I don't know that you're going to need more than one.
But with Fortnite, it's not just its battle royale; it's the fact that you're building these structures.
Yeah, which comes into play more during team mode. But yeah, you can build the structures and stuff like that, which is not in PUBG. It's one of the main things it's one of the big things that differentiates.
So a battle royale mode then in like Call of Duty would just be you get one life, which exists in a lot of other games in the past, but then you have to find your weapons. You're dropped with nothing. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, and usually it's 100 people, which is the big thing too.
100? You can have 100 people? Is that much?
Oh, that's what Fortnite is.
Holy shit!
It's 100 people, and it whittles down to one.
100 people. So there's deaths happening every second at some point.
Well, it's a really big map.
I know it compresses.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not a total noob. I know it compresses.
Yeah, just making sure.
And you gotta stay in, or I guess you get wiped out.
It's 100 people.
I know it was 100. I thought it was like, oh wow, I want to play that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Let's just get on Twitch and start be Fortnite streamers.
No,
no.
But
I wanted to play this game from the beginning. I actually did. All right.
It is a fun game.
That said, all right, Epic. Can we have some quiet time? Epic Games. You're making hand over fist fucking cash now. Okay, you're giving away $100 million to tournaments. Can you maybe give a few for I don't know, there's this game that you help build your whole fucking empire on called Unreal Tournament that maybe you can develop a new Unreal Tournament. I'm just saying, you don't have to. You're just richer than God now, but maybe get another Unreal Tournament game going, not just let these fucking open source fucking things crawl around. Maybe do a proper one. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's just been 11 years. That's all I'm saying. That's it. And the last one wasn't that well received. So the last real good one was 14 years ago. That's all I'm saying. And you can put a battle royale mode in there too. Yes, you keep your team deathmatch and your assault mode, which was revolutionary at the time, But yeah, you can put a battle royale mode in Unreal Tournament, and you hit all your bases. Okay, that's it. That was my plea to Epic Games. Okay, moving on with that. Ian, how do you access the good old podcast Patreon? You always know us by heart.
You go to patreon.com/CU podcast.
You got it. And there you could look at
almost said podcast.
I know you did. And there you can get Ian's weekly writings. Maybe you'll have something lined up for a day or two. You got something in mind?
Yeah, next day or so.
Okay. And then you could access the Discord chat, which I haven't been in a week or so. Sorry, I'll get back in there. Ian, you got to get in there as well.
I'll dip my balls in.
Hey, okay, you can do that. And you can do the voice Q&A we're about to do, and you can access the full video podcast with all our awkwardness. So here's the first question coming at you.
We recording?
Greetings, Pat. Greetings, Ian. This is Sean hailing from nearby Orange County, California. And I just have a quick question regarding strategy guides. Do you guys feel in this day and age of internet walkthroughs and YouTube Let's Plays and things of that sort, do you still feel that published and printed strategy guides still have a place in this world? Love the podcast, and you guys keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Sean from Orange County, nearby Orange County. Do printed strategy guides have a place in this world? Sounds like a 80s song almost. I think they do. I think just because you can still get a bunch of accoutrements and nice little printed maps and character histories and world histories, depending on what the world is, that it could be entertaining, not just like text walkthrough with game screenshots. I think there's a place for you can explore you can expound upon the lore of the world, and you can do other things besides just straight up walkthrough guide. I think there's a spot for it still.
There absolutely is. So with the text walkthroughs that you find online, the ones that are well written, it's easy to use, but it's nice to always have a color picture when they're trying to tell you where something is. You get that with a video, but then you have to watch the video, or you have to, find which part of the video walkthrough pertains to the segment of the game you're in. With a video walkthrough, it's almost like you have to be watching it from the start. Like you kind of want to go on the journey of that game with the person who's writing that video walkthrough. And the big thing that I've noticed lately, with having something like that in your hand, is I've been using an e-reader lately, and it's nice. It's nice to have around and have a number of books in my hand. I've been using it instead of checking the internet a lot more at night, but I like to flip back and reference things, and tapping constantly is a lot slower than just being able to flip back some pages or flip forward. And you can't do that online with a video walkthrough.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with a text document. With a nice guide in your hand, you can flip forward real quick to some appendices, or you can flip back and you can. It's faster, and to me, it's always been more convenient. There's nothing really quite as detailed as, like I said earlier, a guide with text and pictures. And like Pat said, you can add a whole lot more. Like an appendix on monsters or something isn't something you're likely to keep flipping to check on a text document, because it's a pain in the ass to keep jumping back and forth. In an actual guide, that's really easy. Slap a bookmark in there and just, they're just way more convenient, in my opinion, than trying to do something online.
Books are more accessible than the internet when it comes to information. It's just easier to get it. It's all packed there. And I'm not going to bring up my book.
You just did.
I'm just saying, because all this information's online. Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
This is that information all online, easily accessible. You can flip through. Sure it is. Next question. Thanks so much, Sean.
Hey, Pat and Ian. This is Gizmo from California calling in again. And a few days ago, I think it was a day after, maybe it was a couple days after the Infinity War came out, I was able to watch it with my dad. We both enjoyed it. We both got some laughs because, Marvel movies nowadays have their trademark humor with their references, with their cues, with their lines. They're able to make us laugh as well as enjoy the action, yada yada. But with this in hand, there's talks of Marvel buying Fox. And this might actually get them the rights to give them back the rights to the characters they gave Fox, such as Fantastic Four and X-Men. So my question is, do you think we'll be seeing any X-Men characters, Fantastic Four characters, or anything regarding the Fantastic Four X-Men in the near future? Personally, I think that it should happen. It's a matter of when should it happen. I hope you consider this question a good one, and stay frosty.
Gizmo, it was a great question. Just got to cut it down a little, buddy. That's all. I had to read it to follow it. Thanks so much, Gizmo. So the question is, Fox Entertainment might be sold. It's going to be sold probably to Disney. Comcast trying to throw a wrench in there. I think it's going to be done.
No, to
deal.
go Comcast. So you're not.
Yeah, Comcast are the biggest assholes on the planet already to this. But the question is, will we see Fantastic Four and X-Men? Absolutely, we're going to see them. It's just the timing of when. So right now, what's interesting now with Marvel is that in the past it was always, you knew what movies were coming out 3-4 years from now. Now you don't. Now you just know about Avengers Part 4, obviously Ant-Man coming out in a couple of months. You know about Captain Marvel because they're filming it, and then they might be doing like a Black Widow movie. Like that's really all we know, which is not typical of Disney and Marvel Studios, letting know that this is what's coming the next. And there's going to be a Guardians 3. People know that, and a Black Panther 2. But in terms of new properties, and Spider-Man 2. But in terms of new properties, we don't know what's in this mysterious Phase 4.
There's very educated guesses, but that nothing is set in stone, and I think that's actually what's most interesting for me post whatever Infinity War 2 is actually called, or Avengers 4 is what is out there. And I think one of the main reasons they're being so tight-lipped is because they're waiting to see how this shakes out.
But so now the timing's going to get iffy because they got to start getting movies. These movies take a year and a half to produce.
Right.
These movies. So if you're going to have a full schedule for summer 2020. Jesus Christ. You better know this deal better be lined up by like end of this year.
Yeah,
they got to get done by end of this year.
Yeah, there's some serious concern. To me, I'm concerned because they may wait too long.
For this to go through.
They may be waiting too long. They may be hedging their bets on this stuff falling into place sooner than it will. And if it doesn't, I'm afraid that's going to lead to an in between rushed period.
A bunch of Iron Man 2s and stuff that doesn't really fit anywhere else.
Yes, exactly.
Instead of having all these movies be cleanly related to one another.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. It's a possibility, or maybe they know that this might be a couple years off still. So I can guarantee you they've thought for years how to incorporate this. They're
smart.
They've done this all. I can probably almost guarantee you they have, if not complete scripts written, they have scriptments or outlines of movies already done for X-Men and for Fantastic Four. That's fucking done. They're not stupid. They're going to have this ready to go that as soon as it's done, we got a script in hand like in a month or a month and a half, and we can start pre-production. Like basically what they did with Spider-Man coming in was like, okay, the deal's done. We have an idea. They had 2 scripts written, one without Spider-Man and one with Spider-Man for Civil War. We're going with the Spider-Man script. Like, that's what they did. So you're going to see a Fantastic Four movie before Frank's dead, hopefully. That's a proper Fantastic Four movie. Which, by the way, speaking of Fantastic Four movie, Incredibles 2 is coming out next month, which is everyone's sleeping on for some reason.
Yeah.
The first Incredibles is a Fantastic Four movie with more childish, but yes.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a Fantastic Four movie. But to see that done with that tone and that humor and that action with Fantastic Four characters, that'll be big. I think even people are like, oh, no one will see that. No, people will see it. If they know it's Marvel doing it properly and you get one good trailer, people will see that movie. And with the X-Men, yes, that's dicier because you still have New Mutants is not out. It's supposed to come out like a year ago, and that's still not out. And
there was a trailer for it before Deadpool 2.
And it said like April.
Yeah.
Which meant the past April, though, I think.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I have no idea.
It was supposed to come out a year ago, I thought. Like, we saw the teaser for that 2 years ago.
Yeah, we talked about it ages ago.
So there's New Mutants coming out still, and we have the Dark Phoenix coming out this summer still, right? Is that still coming out?
I have no idea.
When the fuck is that coming out? I haven't seen any teasers for that. Have you? Dark Phoenix movie, which is the 4th in that trilogy. And then we're going to have another Deadpool movie. So when is Dark Phoenix coming out? Oh, it's February of next year. Wow. Okay, so that's pushed back.
See, that's the weird thing. It's like if these sales are going, I don't know.
These movies will still come out. They're not going to can this huge movie.
I know.
But that potentially could be the last. They might have pushed. I thought this was going out this year. Maybe they pushed that because they realized it's going to go through. Maybe that's the last hurrah. Just because I don't know.
Yes, yeah, that.
I have no idea.
I want to see those movies, but more than anything, I just want to see a MCU X-Men movie
because they'll be done properly.
Yeah.
It won't be just like, well, we'll just get the popular characters, and Cyclops is a fucking asshole that no one will like. No, we'll get like a proper Cyclops. Yeah. We'll get a proper Jean Grey. See a proper Iceman, for God's sake. Can I get that? Can I see him actually iced up for more than like a second and a half?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's do this right.
Let's not get me all turgid thinking about a good X-Men movie.
But I saw a really good idea on Twitter about how they do Fantastic Four properly, where you do a period piece. You can do a period 60s movie and they get trapped in the negative zone and they come back modern day. And actually, that might work. Yeah. I know they did it before with Captain America, but with the types of personalities the Fantastic Four have, it's kind of hard to translate Johnny Storm, how he is in the comics, to modern day in terms of, he's like the blonde, 60s kid who loves like hot rods and everything. That could be a way to do it. And to have Reed Richards be a scientific guy come back in modern world and be surprised about everything. There's a way to do that. Like there is. I think Marvel's going to be smart about it. Or they can just do a drop in. Well, Doctor Strange is bringing in this reality, and here they are. Like they can always just do that. You know what I mean? Go to the parallel universe, and this universe has X-Men and Fantastic Four. Now they're here. So it's going to happen. You're going to see a Fantastic Four movie. Yes, I'm more than excited for that. All right, we'll do one more question.
Oh, hello, Pat and Ian. It's Anthony Stevens from the UK. After a recent experience of buying a second-hand GameCube game from a CEX store, getting it home, and realizing the game disc wouldn't be read because of some deep scratches that were actually on the disc that I didn't notice in the store. I was just wondering what advice you might be able to give when actually purchasing disc-based games from a reseller, perhaps as an event or a used game store, perhaps, please. Because apart from having an LED torture me with me at the time and actually asking if I can actually check the disc to see the condition. I'm not really sure what else I'm in my rights to ask, really. So any advice would be sort of like appreciated on that. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, Anthony Stevens. So, Ian, what some advice for Anthony in the UK here about what to do about his scratchy disc game?
I mean, you always ask to see the disc. Always ask to see if it's, see the disc. If it's a particularly expensive game, make sure that the store has a return or an exchange policy in play. We don't normally do cash returns at Luna, but if someone, were to buy a stupidly expensive game or a very rare game that we could not replace, there are instances where, obviously we have bent on that. A lot of places will also test the game disc for you, especially if it's something unique, rare, one of a kind. A lot of places have, policies built in that will help you. I mean, does CEX not have a policy like this? That would be concerning. I thought they were a larger store. I mean, there's always going to be some sort of small risk there, but as long as you can, exchange, get another one, or get, as long as there's some sort of no risk policy on your part, getting home with a disc-based game that doesn't work is always going to be some sort of small risk. Now at conventions, that's a different thing, and I actually had a bad experience with that, and I'm not going to mention the people on air because I'm still quite pissed about it. But
Or did not make it right with you when you asked them?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they sellers we're going to see again?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk off air.
Anyways, what I would suggest when you're going to a convention is obviously check everything. If you want it, I mean, there's a few things you can do. Look at it, obviously, check for scratches. The big thing I always tell everyone to do is you want to make sure that there's no scratches on the top of a disc. That's the hardest thing. You can't really fix anything that has scratches on the top.
On the artwork side.
On the artwork side. The reflective side, I find, in my experience, my luck is that light scratches aren't usually going to screw with anything. If it's something you want and it's light scratches and you know a place in town that has a truly professional grade resurfacer, you're probably fine. But take that disc, hold the art side up to the light, like a light in the sky, and look through the shiny side on the bottom and make sure you don't see any pinholes of light or slashes of light coming through. If you do not buy it. I don't take risks. There are certain times where that doesn't matter, but unless you have a chance to sit down and thoroughly test that game, Pat's been in a situation
my
like
Bonk
that.
3 had 2 or 3 pinholes where I was like, or pinholes or you can see through, and I was like, uh-oh. But I put the game in, I played it for like 20 minutes. There was no stuttering, so I'm hoping that all the data was on the inner part of the so it wasn't it was okay.
There are minor exceptions to that, but it's just not something I ever risk, because once that stuff starts to peel or flake off too, it can get worse.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a big thing for me. But just make sure that if you're buying it from a store, make sure it's a trusted store that's not going to screw you over if you need to make an exchange, or especially if it's something that's very unique or one of a kind and you don't think you're going to get back in, you can, get your cat money back.
Thank you for your questions. The CU Podcast Patreon hotline. Eventually we'll do a live one. That could be fun or bad. I'll do one. All right. It's Q&A time on the CU Podcast at Reno Collector. How do you guys feel about all of these E3 leaks? Do you think it's good for the video game industry or harmful?
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic for the industry. I don't know. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily fantastic, but I certainly don't think it's bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't try to see how it can be bad at all.
E3 is unimportant. E3 doesn't mean anything anymore. The fact that we keep hanging on to E3 is ridiculous. I know it's like, it used to be a big holiday for, video gamers, and the publishers and the companies, and it used to be fun every year to look forward to all these big announcements, but we don't live in a world anymore where we need that. There's no reason why everyone has to wait until E3 to announce these things.
Yeah, why is June the magical point in the year where the whole cycle of video game news has to rely upon or revolve around?
I've seen people who are like, no E3 spoilers, please. And I'm like, why?
Who fucking
Just
cares?
let me know. If I'm excited for video game news. I don't want to wait for video game news.
I'm glad Nintendo said F it like 3-4 years ago. We don't need them anymore. We'll just do our own shit.
If a company I like has got exciting news about a game they're releasing, tell me now.
Yeah, the Nintendo Directs are fantastic. I don't know why other companies don't do that every like 2-3 months. We'll just put out a fucking video and just tell you what's coming up.
Yeah.
Why not? Why do you gotta wait till once a year to do that?
I mean, I understand that they need to. There's a need to drive a hype machine up, to get into the holiday market, leading into the holiday market. But you still don't need an event to do that. You still don't need to worry about E3 leaks. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's a negative. I think everyone worrying about this old model where E3 is important is more negative than anything.
Yeah, what's the one? Is this Super Smash Brothers Heroes? Is that coming out this holiday? Is that the leak?
Is that what it's called? Well, it was already said it's coming out this holiday.
I mean, it's
the
Heroes.
trailer said that.
But yeah, but there's a thing that says Heroes. I don't fucking know. You don't know half the time these are like troll, like weirdly blurry images of stuff that we got the leak and here it is, and it's just a Photoshop job to make you think that it's a leak because it's not.
And that's the other thing. The leaks are never 100% certain. Everyone goes to E3 anyways.
Yeah.
The people who need to. And it's still a huge weekend for news that comes out.
Yeah, there's still a ton of news, no matter what.
It's still serving the purpose that it thinks it needs to serve. But as time goes on, this is only natural with the amount of progress that has taken place in technology since E3 was a thing.
Sure. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really the ESA is profiting off of E3. Right? I mean, they're the ones who benefits the most. The companies don't. The company's got to dish out a ton of money to go there, get the fucking space, have all their employees go out there, get the fucking. They're not booth babies anymore. Booth girls or whatever else. Train them how to. So Nintendo always does a great job with them. The people at Nintendo booths always know about the games. They do a good job training them, but they're putting in hundreds of thousands of dollars to have a big E3 booth. These companies.
Yeah.
Even the smaller booths, you're spending probably at E3. $10,000-$20,000 for a small booth, probably, if not more. PAX East, I heard what some of the booths cost, even for the small one. They're not cheap for a little booth. So if you can get away from that model where it's once a year or twice a year where this stuff's revealed, I don't see a downside to that. Why is there it's not, what is it, Christmas for information? I'm not getting anything from E3 news. It's just, I'm getting excitement. So that's my present. I'm opening up excitement. No.
Right.
There's money going to the ESA. What is it? The Electronic Entertainment Software Association. That's who's getting the money. Anyway, all right. Next question. This is from who is this from? At Retro Q Gaming. Thoughts on certain retro games, arcade, PC, and console, never seeing re-release or remastering on modern platforms due to complicated license issues. For example, Konami's Aliens, Capcom's Alien vs. Predator, Capcom's The Punisher, Sierra's No One Lives Forever series, which I'm surprised about that one. What do you think, Ian?
So it sucks that we can't play these on modern systems through a re-release. Obviously, licensing is a pain in the ass. But I think it's only recently that we as game players have begun to expect everything to be playable, or almost everything to be playable, or constantly re-released or collected on compilations, and available at our fingertips to be played. I mean, Alien vs. Predator is probably my favorite arcade game, or extraordinarily close to it. I mean, it's maybe the only beat 'em up I ever put time into actually getting good at, and not just trying to, quarter feed. And it's a game with a lot of skill, and it's fun. But I just feel like, I don't know, this wasn't a question that was asked about other games that had licensing issues maybe 10 years ago. It's only now, I think, as more and more stuff gets re-released, we notice these gaping holes with these really good licensed games that are missing. So I don't know what the thoughts I'm supposed to have are on it. It sucks. But I'm not super worried about it either, because preservation wise, these are all dumped. We have the ROMs of these. So my only real concern would be is if, somehow licensing rights, and it's not like these games have entirely vanished. They're still around, they're still preserved, they're still out there in ways that people can play them. It's just not conveniently easy to do it with, a PlayStation 4, or something that you have hooked up to your TV. And that's a shame. But, there's no reason for Capcom or certainly not Konami, to go out there and spend the money to get these licensing rights back for, to do a PlayStation Network, download version of Alien vs. Predator. I wish they would.
I wonder if
I'd buy it 10 times.
I wonder if they're not even just too lazy to look into it. Maybe it would even cost a huge amount. I don't know.
Perhaps. But
it's not worth their time.
Yeah, it's just not worth these companies' times. I'd be a lot more concerned, like I had said already, if for some reason, somehow they had not been able to preserve these, but these are all dumped. These are all out there.
Yeah.
That's my only major concern is, as long as they're preserved, ports are nice.
You can find an arcade cabinet somewhere for a lot. We're talking about mostly arcade cabinets. I mean, Capcom's The Punisher, it's also an arcade game.
Yeah.
So that's where Sierra's No One Lives Forever. I don't know anything about that.
No One Lives Forever, I believe, was I don't think there's any actual licenses used. I think it was just so obviously a James Bond knockoff game that I think there was.
But you can do games like that without.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely certain.
It's a story-driven game in the 60s. Yeah, so what? They had tons of shows. They had Man from U.N.C.L.E. in the 60s.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. That, you know what I mean?
I'm not exactly sure what the licensing problem would be there, though. I don't know enough about it.
The mentality of gamers has changed a lot in 20, 30 years. So it was in the late 80s to even late 90s that you weren't expecting all these games to come out on a console, right? Or even a PC. So when we went to Barnacle Bill's in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, and played Simpsons arcade game, which is probably the first time I ever saw that game, and like when that came out, like 90. What a magical fucking game Simpsons arcade game is. What a beautiful machine. It does the franchise justice. It's the best you could have done for a Simpsons game at the time. Better than the Super Nintendo games, that's for damn sure. Yeah. So we didn't think about, we won't be able to play this on a console. Probably also because arcade games were still so far ahead technology-wise from Super Nintendo and Genesis and obviously NES that you can only play them in an arcade. So when we played Spider-Man arcade game, which Ian discovered in my main machine, so it wasn't all bad. When we saw these games as kids or young teenagers, we weren't thinking about what's going to happen 10 years from now when we can't play these arcade games anymore. It wasn't even a thought. It was like, this is in the arcade. We play the arcade. Arcade games, when you went to the arcade regularly and you didn't see a game anymore, you couldn't even really whine about it because you didn't know what games were coming out, what was disappearing. You had no fucking clue what arcade games were going to show up. Like when Mortal Kombat shows up, you didn't know Mortal Kombat was a game until you see it in front of your face.
Right, you're like, you don't know, or you heard about it from a friend.
You don't know NBA Jam's a thing until you fucking find this huge arcade. You know what I mean? Like there was no arcade gaming magazine to make you aware of it. There was no internet that we knew of to be aware of this stuff. So now we go back and say, okay, we have ROMs, we have RetroPies where you can play all this stuff. We have main machines. So we're thinking, we want to see. It's interesting. We want to see licensed re-releases of games that we've been playing illegally for 25 years. So once we want to see these, and we want to see a Simpsons arcade release in some form, would be great. We just may never see it, so it's kind of a shame. You know, it's almost like you would sell a lot of them most likely if you could. If you put Simpsons Arcade on Switch or on Steam, it would probably sell a good fucking amount. You would think. Oh yeah,
some of these would sell a ton, but it's a matter of whether or not they want to chase backwards or just keep moving forwards.
Sure, it's a shame. All right, do you want to save this one for next time?
Yeah,
let's save it. Okay, we'll just do last one. This is from at New Super Frank. Anything but your ignorant left-wing political ideas, please.
I believe in intersectional feminism, Black Lives Matters, LGBTQ rights for all, into quite a bit of socialism, democratic socialism. Let's see. I love puppies and kittens. What else am I into? Anti-gun.
All guns? Anti-Second Amendment? Or-
Sure, just to piss him off. I'm not gonna.
okay.
I'm not gonna get into the nuances of it. Let's just say I want to take your guns.
You're gonna take your,
I want to take your guns,
you're gonna,
Frank.
You're gonna storm every single house with guns.
Yeah, with Obama, by the way. He
okay.
never he didn't get a chance to get all those
All right,
guns.
Mine's in the kitchen. I won't tell you where in the kitchen. Just to let you know.
I'll let Obama sniff it out.
Obama sniff it out.
Fuck you, dude.
This is what's interesting about people, and this is where I weep for humanity, where it's either all or nothing when it comes to beliefs or politics. Where if you have one belief that I don't like, now all of a sudden you're a radical.
You're
either a Trumper or you're a fucking left wing extremist, or it's like, can we act as human beings again? Can we just talk to each other?
No.
I have disagreements with Ian about stuff. He has disagreements with me. We agree on probably 60 to 80% of stuff. Most likely, maybe a little more. Maybe not wardrobe, but whatever. We're getting there. But that's cheap. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I don't want. No, that was bad. I'm sorry.
No, okay.
Okay. Actually, what shirt are you wearing today?
M Theory Music.
Okay, that's cool. Anyway, that was a cheap shot. I don't know. I never touched Ian during the podcast before, by the way.
That was interesting. I
felt really bad about taking a cheap shot. You're not even dressed badly.
No.
I know, that was cheap. But you know what's also cheap is labeling someone left wing. That's also very cheap, and you feel better about yourself, and you can go in your little enclave of fellow believers that it's us versus the world. You're a culture warrior. See, to me, the opposite of an SJW is, I don't know, you need a term like asshole culture warrior, where it's like, because you're opposite on it's the other side of the coin, where you're just thinking that it's us versus them, and there's no agreement, and it's win at all costs, and it's disgusting either way.
Ignorant is also like a term that people like to use. I feel like it's just it's a little stuffy.
It's a little stuffy because
it's a little stuffy.
Because when you say someone's ignorant, that you're basically saying they don't know about the topic they're talking about. It's like, no, you just fucking disagree.
Right, exactly.
We just disagree. It's not ignorance at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I know all about the pros and cons of gun rights and about socialized medicine. And some of my beliefs might surprise you. Some of you would say, Pat, you're. By the way, I've been called a right winger a lot for things I said in the podcast. So it's interesting that I get both, which basically shows you what's going on here, where people not be able to think outside their own head about, well, you're a right winger because you might want to own a gun, or you're a left wing because you might be for Black Lives Matter or whatever else. That's not how human beings work. That's not how we are designed. We're not designed just to have a block of ideas that are in this set. It's like you're either NES or you're Sega. Yeah. And you can't like you can't like Sonic because you like Contra. You can't like both of those. I mean, as silly as that analogy is, that's basically how it works.
Yeah. Anyways,
which by the way is coming on to us saying like, oh well, you hate Sega, Pat. It's like, well, I own Master System games right there. I had a Master System as a kid.
You sure do. You have all of them.
So how am I a Nintendo fanboy all the way then? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. New Super Frank, please bake a loaf of bread in your ass. The end.
Do you start with the dough first? Do you just stuff it in there? That'd be tough to get dough in there.
I have a process imagined in my head that would be not so comfortable or great.
A plunger?
And I feel like he should endure that.
Okay.
All right.
This is going to be a topic for YouTube? Should it be a topic? Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. We need to get some fiery comments going again.
We haven't talked about PewDiePie in a while, so that'd be good.
Guy's hard as a sewage pump.
Uh-oh, someone said another hour video. Do you realize the best part about that is to edit that hour video together probably took about a good 20 to 30 hours to edit that video, probably. For an hour video with a lot of cuts and things, that's not a quick process.
When we did the podcast?
No. If someone to comment in us and do an hour video on
that, right.
They're putting in a days of work.
Yes.
So then we still win.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at our cute faces and listening to us for a whole 24 hours, which I can't imagine that. I have cute dimples, though.
I don't even want to listen to us any longer. All right. We're good.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it for this CU podcast. Again, we're going to be at Luna Video Games in Chula Vista, Saturday the 26th from
Luna Video Games.
1 p.m. Be there, or Square will be hanging out. We have certain NES Guidebook.
Oh, hey, we're going to too many games as well.
We are going to too many games. He is ecstatic about that, and that's going to be...
We are going to be at too many games.
Too many games.
Too many games.
Too many games. We did that announcement 2 years ago.
Too many games. Yeah, we did.
Or 3 years ago for 2 games. So that's June 22nd to June 24th. That's outside of Philly, about 40 minutes. We're going to be there. And with good old James Rolfe, the voice of Mario, will be there. Charles Martinet, Linkara, Vinny from Vine Sauce, my buddy, Rerez, the lovable Game Chasers, and others to be announced. And Ian's face is not on the website yet. You got to send your cute picture with the snake.
Oh, yep, that's right. I'm gonna use the snake.
And then we're gonna have a live podcast. I think it's gonna be on Friday. And then the 10th anniversary Pat the NES Punk panel, which is gonna be the 10th anniversary Pat the NES Punk. Is on June 24th. That Sunday.
Throw your underwear at him.
Yes, preferably women, but yes, men. I'll try to dodge it as best I can. I'll do the same. Throw the Mario boxers at me like the ones I wore in the Dance Aerobics video. 10 years of Pat the NES Punk. Maybe there'll be a video for it. If I'm not lazy, we'll see. All right, that's what's all going on here. UltimateNES.com for a certain NES guidebook. Patreon.com/CU podcast. Ian's nice writings are up there. He's learning to use commas slowly but surely. Usually after a but, there's almost always a comma before but when you write.
Oh, I'm just paying more attention now is what I'm
Oh,
doing.
yes. See, for the first three, I made the mistake of actually proofreading and like giving my notes, and I thought Ian would actually look at the notes. And no, because he doesn't respect me. So, and he's like, nope. All right, so that's great. So for Ian Ferguson, I'm Pat Contry.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.